The Jason Gregor Show.
Celebrini keeps it alive. Macklin, what a move there again. Into the what a goal by Macklin Celebrini.
On Sports 1440.
In the air to center field for Bogarts. Kerr getting ready. Will make the catch. Here comes Jackson Merrill. Here comes the throw. Padres. They're walking up.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Mets on Sunday. That's driven in the air to deep center field, and that is a glorious bomb from Shohei Ohtani.
Just after 2 o'clock. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Of course, you can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight, the Gold Ball Jackpot, $38 million. Lotto 649 tomorrow, grand a day. And then Friday, the Lotto Max, an estimated $15 million. Go check it out, PlayAlberta.ca, to pick up your tickets. Also, we've got our specials today. Have a little fun with the baseball and basketball worlds. We'll let you know what those are later on. But PlayAlberta.ca/sports. Remember to use your game sense. I'm Connor Halley, sitting in for Jason Gregor, taking a little bit of vacation. He will be back later next week. Declan Kruger, Mackenzie McLennan here, as well as we roll through the Jason Gregor Show. Busy show, lots to get to. NFL training camps underway. Of course, the Edmonton Elks prepping for the rematch with the Riders on Saturday. Blue Jays baseball, they're winning, beating the Nationals 5-2 right now. In the bottom of the ninth, we'll keep you up to date on all that's happening around the sporting world, scoreboards, and all that sort of thing. On the show today, a busy one. Coming up to start the show off, Justin Nunk will join us from 3downnation.com. Of course, the Edmonton Elks playing some of their best football that we've seen in almost a decade. 6-1, taking on the Rough Riders once again Saturday afternoon, 5 o'clock down at Commonwealth. GoElks.com for tickets. We'll be giving away some tickets today, tomorrow, and Friday. I have a bunch of tickets to pass along here, so keep it tuned here. We'll let you know how you can win tickets later on. The week gets going, week 9 in the CFL. Tomorrow night, the BC Lions taking on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. You got the Montreal Alouettes up against the 0-6 Ottawa Red Blacks. Montreal 6-1. It's not looking good for Ottawa. But hey, crazier things have happened on Saturday. Part of the doubleheader, game 1, Hamilton and Calgary from Hamilton. For the Stampeders, Vernon Adams has been absolutely fantastic, but not winning football games. They can turn that around. Plenty of time still. But yeah, it's been an interesting week or a few weeks in the CFL. The BC Lions going to be starting Caden Salter at quarterback. Obviously for Bryce, it didn't go good. Nathan Rourke went down. This guy's got a really interesting story. Went to Tennessee. I believe he was a 4-star recruit out of high school. Ends up not working out there. He's off the football team for off-field issues. Goes to Liberty and then ends up as Deion Sanders quarterback with the Buffs. Nothing happens in the NFL, comes up to the CFL, and now he'll have an opportunity to make an impression at a very young age. We'll get to the stats of the day. We'll be joined by Eric Williams from the NFL on Fox. Take a look around the NFL training camps. Ben Static going to join us as well from the Team 980 in Washington. We'll look at the Commanders, Jaden Daniels. I look at that team, and I'm curious. The receivers are okay. Terry McLaurin hoping for a bounce-back season. It leaves a little bit to be desired, especially in a tough division where you're going to have the Eagles. The Giants should be strong with Harbaugh and Jackson Dart going into year 2. You've got the Cowboys, who we know will put up points. We'll talk some Commanders later on in the program. We'll do the roundtable with Deck and Mackenzie. We've got Struddy coming up at 4:20. 5 questions. Spec, Shang Pang going to join us. Obviously talking about the news with the San Jose Sharks. Macklin Celebrini, 5 years, $18.8 million for the 19-year-old. Huge payday. And there's been some back and forth, I think, on that contract on Sports 1440. People not necessarily loving that one. Primarily Donovan. I like it. Good for him. Get your money. There's a line in Goodfellas that I'm not going to repeat, but it's something you pay me. He deserves it. He was absolutely outstanding. Played in 82 games for the San Jose Sharks. Got some MVP talk. Had they made the playoffs, the chatter would have been a little bit more. Some more screaming, I think, because he was phenomenal for his team. Went to the Olympics, went to the World Championships, or the C on a team that had Sidney Crosby. I know Crosby went after, and they kept it real. Let Celebrini wear the C. But at 19 years old, that's a big deal. So we'll talk to Sheng Pang about that. And then Cam Tate's 2-minute warning as well. So lots to get to on the show today. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. The text line, 1-833-401-1440. Let us know what you think about that deal for young Macklin Celebrini. NFL camps underway. And like we said, we are going to be getting into it big time. But some big news already. Shamar Stewart for the Cincinnati Bengals carted off with a leg injury. Of course, he was in the headlines last year for not being with the team. He obviously didn't have the production at the college level. I think 1 sack this past season, but obviously a first-round pick, hoping to have him grow. Looks like that might have to be in year 3 because he was carted off earlier today. Chris Basil of the Carolina Panthers, he also left practice with what is appearing as an LCL tear. Now, if you've followed along with the Carolina Panthers, they also lost Nick Scorton, edge rusher, last week to a knee injury. So the injuries piling up, and then all of a sudden, after saying that, this makes a lot more sense as a couple star running backs in the NFL appearing to be hold-ins, which is the new way for players to kind of get that contract without practicing, maybe working lightly on the sideline. Bijan Robinson of the Atlanta Falcons and Jahmyr Gibbs of the Detroit Lions, both players holding in, not holding out. They're around their team. They're saying all the right things, but not participating in these conversations, practices, trying to get those big deals. And if you are the Falcons or the Detroit Lions, you got to get that deal done ASAP. Whoever signs first will be the second highest paid running back shortly, because the next player's going to get that contract done and probably get $100,000, $200,000 more just to have those bragging rights. Declan Kruger along for the ride here today as well. Deck, what's going on, my friend?
Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. Like, no matter what sport you're into, unless you're a big baseball guy, it's very much July 29th. So CFL obviously rocking. That'll get going this tomorrow. Huge game for the Elks coming up this weekend. But as it stands right now, like, it is Wednesday, July 29th. We're going to make something happen, but I don't know.
We'll get through it. We have to. We have no other choice. We can't just sit here in silence and wait till 6 o'clock. But we got a loaded show. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to 5 questions with you, Deck. You always change it up. I'm curious. We'll get into the Mount Rushmore of things. But
I hate to interrupt, but I had like an amazing 5th question. I woke up today and I was like, I cannot wait to ask Connor this. And I have no idea what it is now. I can't remember it all. It was such a good question. I was like excited. I was like, I've got my 5th question. Now I just need the other 4. No idea what it was. Like, not even in the ballpark of what the question was.
I kind of feel like Wanye when it comes to McDavid, but was it Justin Herbert wedding related? Like, what would be their song or anything like that?
It was a little hypothetical Friday-esque, I think, from what I recall.
But
it's really, I feel like the Men in Black lasers zap my brain. Like, I have no idea what it was. I hope I can think of it in the next 2.5 hours. But
I have a notepad. When I have like a really good question, I jot it down. Notepad on my phone, that is, not an actual notepad.
Would have been helpful. Wish I would have done it.
Hey, kid, remember that advice. When you look at the 2 running backs, Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs, Declan, you look at their money that they're making, rookie contracts. I have to scroll down a little bit. And I always love Jahmyr Gibbs talk because you and I, we're doing a draft show down the dial and we're like, good pick, but that early? Like, probably could have got him later on. He's making 4.461. That's the cap hit this year, the average. Bijan Robinson, he was the 5th overall pick. He's making a little bit more, 5.4. Right now, the highest paid back in the NFL, if we're just doing AAVs, Saquon Barkley, 20.6. Christian McCaffrey, 19. Devon Achane, who got his deal this offseason, 16. And then you got Derrick Henry, 15. Brees Hall just a little under. And if you want to look at free agents, Kenneth Walker, 14.35 from the Chiefs coming over from Seattle. What do you think the number looks like? It's obviously north of 20.6.
22 came to mind. Does that sound reasonable?
I think so.
Do you think it might be more?
No, I kind of think you're probably in line. Like, maybe there's a conversation. Hey, cap's going to be going up. It always is. In that case, if I'm these guys, maybe I'll probably just look to sign shorter term deals. But I think that's probably it. 22.5, and then the next one comes in at like 22.6, 22.7. They're probably going to hold out trying to become the highest paid running back in football. But both of these guys, young players, Jahmyr Gibbs, just 24 years old. Bijan 24. Like if you were to sign a 3-4 year deal, you might be able to set yourself up for another contract at 28, 29. It's probably going to be downhill in a shorter term deal, but how many years would you want to go if you're the team versus the player?
Well, if I'm both, I think I want 4. I think the obvious answer is if you're a player, you believe in yourself, you can re-up again when you're young enough that you still have tread left on the tires that like, hey, I can still get to that second big contract. And then if you're the team, like we've talked about this, we know it's case in point, like how often do the wheels fall off on running backs in the NFL? Like it's immediate and it's often very hard as well. Now there are some guys who kind of stand the test of time. You look at what Frank Gore did in his career, but generally speaking, it falls off. So I think a 4-year deal, I love that if I'm the team. I love that if I'm the player. This is what I wanted to ask you though. What number are you like, that's a little too high. Like, I don't know if I want to pay that.
Man, and it's tough for these two guys because they're both so dynamic and they're both like it's not like, man, I don't trust him in the pass game, right? There's not too many deficiencies with these guys. I feel like they're both 3 down backs. Maybe you'd love a little bit more when it comes to blocking, but I probably wouldn't want to go over 24. I mean, that compensates them very well. It sets them up over 4 years. That'd be just under $100 million. Like pretty good. I think it was 4 years, 64 for HN. So I think, 24, 25 would be the absolute max. If I am Atlanta, right now I don't have a quarterback making a ton of money. You're going to have to pay Penix at some point unless you decide to move on.
Or Tua.
Yeah. I mean, geez, the Dolphins are still paying Tua a ton of money. He's making like what, 1 point something this year?
Yeah, like dude, the HN contract is so funny too, because that's such a like, please, we just need something palatable on this roster. Like, please hang around and we'll give you all this money. And now he's obviously a very good player, but still.
He is, but if I was him, I wouldn't have taken it. Now, I also yesterday said if I was Quinn Hughes, I'm not signing. I'm checking out free agency. If I was Devon Achane, and maybe the option faced with him, like, okay, well, we'll just franchise tag you, and then you're not going anywhere. And then by the time you're done being franchise tagged, you'll be 27 years old. So maybe he just was like, okay, you got me. I'll take the ball. But geez, if I was him and that season rolls on, I might have some soft tissue injury. Like, ooh, back's not feeling too good right here. It's something. And it's funny too, because when you look at, you mentioned Frank Gore. The last 3 years, he was with 3 different teams. It's like teams didn't believe in him. They wanted to see what he could do. So it's a tough one in the NFL. I grew up in an age where it was like, lock these guys up. They're fantastic. Now you got to be a little bit smarter with the money. Come on, you got to ask the Commanders reporter about Ayuk. Oh, 100%. The Brandon Ayuk. My question, I think I'm going to have to word it carefully. Were they ever interested in him? Like, that's going to be the question, because what he's been doing, he's taking shots at Shanahan. He's ripping around the facility. It's crazy. Like, have we seen anything like this since Antonio Brown? Like, it just, what's happening? And I'm going to be honest with you. I was never as high on Brandon Ayuk as some other people. Like, the contract he got to me seemed a little rich. He's a very good player, but I kind of still wanted to hold out and see what he could do. Can he find his game? Hey, it's possible. He had one very good year, another 1,000-yard season under his belt before getting paid. Hasn't played in over a year now. But if you're the Commanders, and we were kind of talking about that earlier today on the Frenzy with Donovan Paulson, like, you can look at it real life, you can look at it in fantasy. I don't know what I'm expecting out of Jaden Daniels this year. And I know he was really good in his rookie year. Last year, the injuries seemed to persist. He came back and played the Chargers, beat them. Yes, he's a good player. I respect him for that. But when you look at that team, like, I don't think there's too much to get excited about. And maybe I'm off my rocker here, Deck, but you got an aging receiving core. You have some names I don't mind. Like, Luke McCaffrey was a guy I drafted in my fantasy team and kind of stashed him a couple of years ago because I thought maybe he breaks out. Antonio Williams, they drafted in the 3rd round. I don't know if you got a scouting report on him, Declan. Treylon Burks had a heck of a catch in the back of the end zone. Very Odell Beckham Jr.-esque. But there's just a lot of questions. Dynami Brown, sure, serviceable player. Van Jefferson, older, but I still have some questions. The tight end room, I don't love. The running backs, I like Rashad White. I don't love it. Ja'Cory Crossy-Merritt, I mean, he was the training camp darling last year. Didn't really pan out. I'm just unsure of this team. when it comes to the Commanders. But I will say, like, I've always kind of had a bias against them. You look at their defense, it's totally rebuilt. They have Javon Kinlaw and Daron Payne were there last year. I think outside of that, Trey Amos and 2 members of the secondary. Other than that, like, this defense has been rebuilt. They paid Odafe away a bunch of money to come over from the Chargers, like $100 million, for a guy who was kind of okay with the Ravens. Really benefited, I think, from playing in the LA Chargers system. He cleaned up the mess of Khalil Mack and Tuli Tuipulotu. Like, he would hop in there and make that sack after they kind of got to the quarterback and created a little bit of hell. Kayvon Chason, Sonny Styles will be fun to watch. Deck, I know that's a guy we were all probably very high on.
So good at football.
Yeah, so that one, all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, excited to see that one. But I don't know. Where do you come out on the Commanders this year?
I want to believe in Jaden Daniels. I like Jaden Daniels a lot. We did our top 5 quarterbacks today on the lowdown. That'll work into 5 questions, a little bit of a tease. And I had Jaden Daniels in there. I don't think most others would. I think a lot of it is just belief in what he can be or what we saw in his rookie season. And Josh and Connor both made good points that he's kind of competing with guys like Drake May and Caleb Williams for being one of the best or the best young quarterback in the league who's going to take that step. I just think Washington is, like, offensively, you need Jaden Daniels to be 100% healthy at all times. Like, I love Terry McLaurin's talent, but Band-Aid last year, and despite the talent, never really had a year that's like popped. You talked about Traylon Burks. I saw a tweet the other day that was like, am I crazy for betting Traylon Burks over 1,000 receiving yards? And someone quote tweeted it and said, what strain is this? Let me get on it. Defense I love, but like Daron Payne, Javon, like, they're a little bit older, man. I want to believe in Washington because, unlike you, I feel like I have a bit of a soft spot for them because Josh Norman went there on that huge contract and he was one of my favorite players. But I think we're talking about 7-10 or 6-11. Like, I do not think they're going to be a very good team as much as I like Jaden Daniels.
Off topic, I'll never forget. We were selecting our fantasy frenzy at the time fantasy team, the Duke and I, and we got to the receiver position. We had a bit of a debate. He wanted McLaurin. I wanted Jackson Smith-Njigba.
Yeah, I was there for that. You remember?
I bent the knee. Yeah. I said, all right, let's go McLaurin. 582 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had a good touchdown year last year, 13. But you're right. Like, he's had good seasons, but never that monster year. Granted, he hasn't had the best quarterback play until Jaden Daniels. So maybe it's coming, but he's going to be 31 this season. Yeah, I don't know. Commanders fans, I'm hoping for you. Max, does anyone think CJ Stroud is going to have a great year? Well, did you guys see the video of him walking in to the facility yesterday? Guy was getting absolutely cooked. I'm not putting much thought into that one. I saw some good things. Like, we know CJ Stroud has it in him. It's just not always there. So finding that consistency for him is going to be the big thing. Once the season really ramps up, he will be 25 years old. There's going to be that conversation about that next contract for Stroud. He'll get that 5th-year option, of course. Never going to go away from that one. You know, the interception totals haven't been awful. It's under 10. You probably ought to see a few more touchdowns mixed in there, but he's got them to the playoffs. He's won a playoff game. More than I can say about my quarterback. I don't know. I don't think he'll have a great year. I think he'll have a CJ Stroud year. MTR says Cowboys win the East this season. Maybe. I got an Eagles fan looking at me kind of side-eye MTR. I don't know if she's on board. Also, before we get to break here, it is Mackenzie's birthday. So please text in happy birthday, Mackenzie, to 1-833-401-1440 or say it on the YouTube chat if you are watching there. We'll take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll talk some CFL with Justin Dunk of 3downnation.com. It is the Jason Gregor Show, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Kickoff is coming August 1st. Elks, Rough Riders at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. The prehistoric party is back, presented by Purolator Tackle Hunger. Experience family-friendly fun all game long with a dinosaur-themed contest. Get your tickets at goelks.com/tickets.
At GS Construction, people grow with the company. 50 years of experience doesn't live in a binder on a shelf. It lives in our people at every level, passed down on every site. Many of us started with a shovel in our hands and built whole careers here. The work is honest. The company's been around since 1974. So if it all sounds good to you and you want to grow with us, GS Construction is currently looking for experienced pipe layers and topmen. No shovel required. Visit gsconstruction.ca today.
Want to invest in Alberta's workforce, fill your talent pipeline, and get funding? Careers, the next generation connects employers with motivated, pre-vetted youth through funded internships. Easy, impactful, and risk-free.
When you work with a group like Careers who have experience in that area, they can demystify and navigate all the complex steps and stakeholders that have to be involved.
Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
Founded by a former pro motorsports competitor, Evolve Wheels and Tires brings decades of experience in custom wheels, lowering kits, lift kits, and accessories. Visit Evolve Wheels and Tires in West Edmonton, Edmonton's premium wheel specialists. Evolve your ride, evolve your experience.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
For all your welding supplies, think AWS Welding. Located in Nisku, their readily stocked storefront carries a wide variety of welding glasses, cylinder rentals, plus welding rod, wire, and consumables. Same-day delivery is always available. And if they don't have it, AWS Welding will find it for you fast. Visit their online store today at awswelding.ca or give them a call or text at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. They make it happen.
For a silly hockey fan, your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Not sure where to turn? Remember 211, the number to contact for mental health, addiction, and community supports. It's free, confidential, and available 24/7. 211 Alberta. One number, countless connections.
A message from the Government of Alberta.
Does your bank do local? We do. When you bank with Vision Credit Union, you're banking with a rural Albertan cooperative that cares about the community where you live. There's no question. We actively support our rural communities at the local level through charitable donations, volunteerism, local team and event sponsorships, and by returning millions in profit shares to our members every year. Does your bank do that? We do local. Bank with Vision Credit Union. VisionCU.ca.
Everything is going to be okay. Any business, regardless of size, can stumble occasionally. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. If your business is facing financial challenges, our team of chartered insolvency and restructuring professionals have corporate debt recovery solutions that work. Schedule your free Faber focus session at faber.ca today. Chances of a positive outcome increase if you engage Faber sooner rather than later.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
Hey there, it's Brandon Douglas from Sports 1440. I was tired of slow, unreliable internet connections, so I signed up for Starlink. It's fast, reliable even in bad weather, and has made streaming for movie nights and online gaming so much better. The summer doesn't mean a break from watching sports, and I've been streaming all the games seamlessly when at the family farm, despite the remote location. If you're ready for a better internet experience, you can order online in 2 minutes at starlink.com/radio or call 1-888-GO-STARLINK.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Like we always do with this time.
Portions of this hour brought to you by eWell. Helping you finish your electrical project is their goal. From pot lights to electrical panels, the gear you need is at ewell.ca or in person at one of their Edmonton area locations. ewell.ca, your partner in power.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.226, welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. You can head over there today, have some fun with the Major League Baseball games. Heck, WNBA tonight. Check out the Gregor Show specials. Dex selects 2 games tonight. He's got the Valkyries and the Wings. Now, the Valkyries having a pretty good season, Deck. The Wings, you're Paige Beckers, so I assume that's why you made the selection.
Yeah, you know me, big UConn guy, big Paige Beckers apologist. It was an easy bet.
Easy bet. The text rolling in from Mackenzie, celebrating her birthday. Stan the Jets fan, Fritz Kyle. Thank you for the kind words. We'll pass those along to Mackenzie. Right now, we are going to get to the CFL report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Legacy Heating and Cooling, the home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace or AC. Bundle them together and save more at legacyheating.ca as we bring in Justin Dunk from 3downnation.com. Justin, good afternoon. How are things going today?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, we appreciate you doing this. And the CFL Week 9 gets going tomorrow night. BC Lions in action. New quarterback should be a lot of fun. We'll get to that in a second here. But let's start off with the green and gold. A huge story in our city. And, you know, we're hearing the buzz. A lot of people looking forward to getting their tickets to the Riders game on Saturday. I wanted to ask you, what did you think has been, if you had to pick one, the biggest reason for this tournament, this turnaround in season 2 under Ed Hervey, Chris Morris, and Mark Killam?
It has to be, to me, the defensive start. Last year, the start to the season for the defense was, to be honest, absolutely horrific. But then once the defense started to get it figured out, under J.C. Sherritt in his first year there, through the back part of the season, they played much better ball. So I think you combine the defense playing more consistent, high-quality football with an offense led by Cody Fajardo and some familiar targets there with Austin Mack. We saw what he did last week against the Saskatchewan Roughriders, that Fajardo-Mack connection, and I think that's where you come out with a 6-1 start. Obviously, Justin Rankin has played a big role, but I think the defense has been a real key.
Yeah, 100%. I think J.C. Sherritt deserves a ton of credit, and, the team sticking with him, kind of following his vision, learning and growing from those things. You mentioned Cody Fajardo this season, 13 touchdowns, obviously had the big performance last week against the Riders, and really outside of one game against BC, he's done a really good job taking care of the football. What have you seen from Cody Fajardo? Because in this offseason, there was talks maybe he was done with football, but clearly a lot of good ball left.
Clearly, and when you look at his stat line last week, it's just unbelievable. 25 of 32 for 510 and 4 touchdowns with no picks. Lights up a Riders secondary that's not just a bunch of rookies running around out there. It's a veteran group. Yes, there were some coverage busts, but I think it shows that Cody Fajardo knows how to win football games in different ways. And if he's called upon to throw the football and exploit a defense and take advantage of what they're seeing in terms of how they want to attack a defense, along with offensive coordinator Jordan Maksimic, he can do that. They can also, of course, run the rock with Justin Rankin and mix in multiple other ways to beat defenses. So I think that's been the real key for Cody Fajardo, is by and large part protecting the football, but also that background that he has as a Grey Cup champion and knowing how to win football games in different ways.
We're joined by Justin Dunk of 3downnation.com here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in. We touched on it very quickly here. The BC Lions, obviously, tough situation at quarterback with Nathan Rourke going down in that game against the Edmonton Elks. It was immediate. He came out with a shirt over the shoulder. They go to Bryce. Didn't quite work out. Now Caden Salter going to get in there. He's a rookie. We talked about his story going from Tennessee to Liberty, then playing under Deion Sanders with the Colorado Buffaloes. What do you think the offense looks like with a rookie Caden Salter this week?
I'm intrigued to watch this football game, and I'm happy we don't have to watch Chase Bryce anymore, because his sorry excuses for 2 performance was more than enough for me to say, okay, I don't think this guy has it as a CFL starter, with all due respect. Salter came into that game last week at the end for about 6 minutes, and it looked like there was actually some belief in the BC Lions huddle. It looked like there was some energy, and I checked in with my colleague JC Abbott from 3downnation.com, who was at the game live, and he felt the same way. So I think Salter gives the Lions some belief. Now he's fighting an uphill battle going into Winnipeg, which has sold out, 17 straight games at Princess Auto Stadium and are well over 30,000 again, probably tracking towards another sellout. So it's a tall task, but I had some smart people in the league tell me about Salter during training camp and say, hey, make sure you keep an eye on this guy. It might not be in the near future like we're seeing him right now start, but I thought in the long term he might have some Vernon Adams Jr. type upside. So if you think about Caden Salter as a finished product in that way, there's a long way to go for him to get to Vernon Adams Jr. status, especially with VA putting up 20 touchdown passes so far this season without an interception and being in the MOP conversation. Then I think you can kind of get an idea of what this guy looks like, Caden Salter, if he can become a finished product. But I think he's a very intriguing dual threat quarterback, clearly has some juice in his arm, and I think can potentially help this BC Lions offense move the football better than Chase Bryce.
We got into the Vernon Adams discussion yesterday, and it ties an NFL record as well for most touchdowns thrown without an interception to start the season. Peyton Manning had 20 in 2013. That was assisted by a 7-touchdown performance against the Baltimore Ravens to start off the season. So he's doing some incredible things. Last season, Matthew Stafford had 28 mid-season without throwing an interception. So Vernon Adams kind of approaching that territory. I'm looking at him statistically, and the last 4 years, we've seen a lot of interceptions. Last year, the stat line, if you're just looking at the box score, 21 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. This year, in essentially half the games, a little under half, 20 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. So what's been the biggest key for VA down in Calgary in year 2?
I think it's minimizing his turnover-worthy plays. Like, there's less defensive backs even getting their hands on Vernon Adams Jr. footballs that have been thrown. And obviously, when you have a streak like this, I think any quarterback, as you mentioned, Peyton Manning, Matthew Stafford, Vernon Adams Jr. in this case, would tell you that there is some luck involved there. But I think by and large part, Vernon Adams Jr. has been extremely accurate with the football. And I think that has been the real key. Now, Vernon Adams Jr. told me and a whole bunch of other media leading into the season that he needs to find a way to be consistent on the back half. So it's great that Vernon Adams Jr. is playing really well to start the season, but this is nothing new. We have seen him have hot starts in the past, but now you couple that hot start, and if he can put it together on the back end, then I think we can legitimately talk about him as an MLB candidate. And Calgary's going to need it, because you look at where they stand now in terms of possibly getting in the playoffs, and they're 3-4 behind Winnipeg for that third spot in the West Division. And really, technically, right now, they'd be fighting for a crossover spot. So the Stampeders need to win some football games here in the next short while to put themselves in a playoff position. And Vernon Adams Jr. needs to keep this pace up if he really wants to be in the MOP conversation.
We're looking around the CFL with Justin Dunk of 3downnation.com. Week 9 of the season gets going tomorrow. Bombers and the BC Lions. Now, looking out east, Justin, it's been a great start for the Montreal Alouettes, 6-1 on the season. But when you look at the rest of that conference, I mean, it's not looking too hot right now. The Ottawa Redblacks can't find a way to win a game, despite being BC. Toronto's still 3-4. Hamilton, it's not looking great. It's looking like a runaway for the Montreal Alouettes, who have really built up a very good program there.
Definitely. I think if you're the Alouettes, you can probably get to a position quickly where you're going to clinch the East Division and host the East Final that goes along with that. But I do think that the Toronto Argonauts, if they can fix their defense and Chad Kelly stays healthy and stops throwing as many picks as he has, I believe he's leading the CFL at the moment in that category. I think the Argos could potentially have a say in that. And Hamilton, it's going to be how Trey Ford goes, I think, in terms of if they're able to get into the playoffs there in the East Division. And as I alluded to earlier, I think they're going to be battling with one of those West Division teams to keep them out of an East Division crossover spot. So, I do think that there is still some possible upside with Toronto. We've seen flashes of it. They have played 7 straight games on the road, even though they called some of those bogus home games to start the season. But now that they'll get back to BMO Field after the bye week, sounds like they should have Chad Kelly back and he won't miss any time. That could help Toronto. And certainly Ottawa just needs to find a way to get a win. But if we're going to talk about Ottawa even being in the playoff mix, like they have to play winning football the rest of the season. And when you start 0-6, I don't think many people are going to have confidence that they can do that. That said, weirder things have happened.
Justin, what have you thought of Trey Ford with the Hamilton Tiger Cats? Obviously, in a perfect world, he wouldn't have taken any snaps under center this year, but he's forced into the lineup. The interception at the end of the game was awful. I'm not exactly sure what was going on there, but what have you thought of his, growth since leaving the Elks? And do you have belief that he can be a quarterback in the CFL?
I think you see some flashes of it, and I think Scott Milanovic would be the best one to answer that question in terms of if he can be a legitimate week in and week out starting quarterback in the Canadian Football League. But I think we also have to realize, too, that he's gone through a transition, and this offense is new to him. I actually think that was a major reason why they didn't start him right away after Bo Levi Mitchell got hurt, was because he's relatively new to the offense compared to Jake Dolegala. I think they kind of wanted to see if they could get through with Dolegala, who knew the offense better and was a little closer in the way that he plays to Bo Levi Mitchell, to allow Trey Ford to have more time to be comfortable with the offense. But pro football waits for nobody, and especially when you lose the way the Ticats lost in Saskatchewan, it seemed like a no-brainer to put Trey Ford in there just based on his athletic ability alone and the way that he can make those off-schedule plays. So I think the jury's still out on Trey Ford. And, that said, you look at some other quarterbacks around the Canadian Football League, and Trey Ford, I think now is 11-14 as a starter. It's not great, but it's around 500. There are some much worse win-loss records among quarterbacks who are still employed in the CFL right now. So I think if he can continue to find a way to get comfortable in Milanovic's offense, that Milanovic will coach him up to be a better passer. And I think Milanovic is okay with him and his ability to be athletic outside the pocket, even though it's not the type of quarterback that Milanovic is used to having. I think he kind of likes it. It's something different. Even talked to Cliff Kingsbury in the offseason, how to go about coaching these quarterbacks. And Kingsbury told him, 1, 2, make a play. So if you're watching Trey Ford, let's have that thought process with him. And also remember that it's a brand new offense that he's learning, that he's only months into.
I love that. 1, 2, make a play. That's a great line for a guy like Trey Ford. Final question for you, Justin, and we appreciate your time here. I just want to bring it back to the Riders and Elks on Saturday. For the Elks, that game on Thursday, obviously very emotional for what the Rough Riders went through with the organization. The province as a whole is just a terrible tragedy. But this game on Saturday, what do you think will be changing for the Rough Riders as they try to get back at Edmonton, in Edmonton?
Yeah, I think there's going to be some lineup changes. It doesn't sound like AJ Ouellette's going to go, so that means American rookie Quali Conley likely draws into the lineup for the Riders. He has looked, honestly, really good as a rookie running back in this league when AJ Ouellette has had to miss time, and they've been able to get Conley on the field. And I think there possibly could be a change along the offensive line with Zach Fry being hurt, their left guard. So they've been looking at Daniel Johnson and Eric Anderson, who is a draft pick, pretty highly selected at a Western University. So I think those are some of the key changes. But I look for a big bounce back and a revenge spot here. I know our betting experts at 3downnation.com, Adam Chernoff and Andrew McInnes, like the Riders in this revenge angle. I think there's so many ways that you could split the game up last week, but they feel like there's a lot of value there with Saskatchewan, but we'll see how it plays out. It should be a fun one.
Absolutely. Yeah, hopefully a good crowd as well. I know a lot of people talking about getting down there, and if the weather holds up, it would be great for the walk-up crowd as well. Justin, thanks so much for doing this today. Really appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks, man.
There you go. Justin Dunk of 3downnation.com. Go check out their work. They do great stuff. And it's going to be a fun one on Saturday. We've got a lot of tickets to give away. I don't know when we'll do it. Maybe soon. Maybe in the next segment even. We could give away some tickets. We've got some parking passes as well. Those are huge in this day and age. So we'll do that maybe in the next segment, maybe 340. One of the two. We'll give away a handful of tickets via the Elks, via some listeners, and also Play Alberta gave us some tickets as well. So playalberta.ca. I'm looking at the bet right here. Declan's. Dex selects Valkyries to win, Wings to win. We've also got the Southern California Love, LA Dodgers to win, and the Angels in an upset. Then we've got Welcome to Atlanta. There's a little bit of a trend with the music themes here. Braves to win, -1.5 boosted. So lots going on here. We wanted to mix in some strikeouts over there for Chris Sale as well, but decided to keep it simple for this one. Remember, use your game sense. We'll take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll get to the stats of the day. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch, brought to you by playalberta.ca.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Hurry in for hot summer savings at Wolf GMC Buick. Take advantage of 0% purchase financing for up to 72 months on select new 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 pickups. 0% purchase financing for 36 months on select new 2026 Sierra 2500 Denali and Denali Ultimate models. Plus, huge cash savings on GMC Sierra heavy-duty trucks. And ask about the $1,000 truck trade-in bonus and low-rate lease offers. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. For just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Mr. Rooter has deja vu. Mr. Rooter has deja vu.
The bathroom is right over there, Mr. Rooter.
Thank you, good sir. Wait, I swear I've plunged this toilet before. It was clogged with a snow globe. Am I living in a time loop? Oh, good. It's just a voodoo doll that looks exactly like me. Whew, what a relief.
For a plumbing experience you'll want to relive, call Mr. Rooter.
Cantork has turned 25. That's right, 25 years of building tools so good, they practically torque themselves. Hard work and innovation equals problem solved. See our latest designs at Cantork.com.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Area Adjusted and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
Hey there, it's Brandon Douglas from Sports 1440. I was tired of slow, unreliable internet connections, so I signed up for Starlink. It's fast, reliable even in bad weather, and has made streaming for movie nights and online gaming so much better. The summer doesn't mean a break from watching sports, and I've been streaming all the games seamlessly when at the family farm, despite the remote location. If you're ready for a better internet experience, you can order online in 2 minutes at starlink.com/radio or call 1-888-GO-STARLINK.
I gotta testify. I'm up in the spot looking extra fly. For the day I die.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world, plus variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. You can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Remember, use your game sense. Deck, am I picking up on a trend? Are we doing all Kanye? Old Kanye?
I think we're going to do Kanye for the first hour.
Straight from the go, Kanye?
Second hour, I don't know where we're going to go. Maybe a little Rihanna.
I think you've had some fun trends. Like you went alphabetical ones with songs. I thought that was pretty cool. So I always like that little twist that you throw on the show when you select the music.
I appreciate that. We just try to have fun with it, no matter what we do.
The old Kanye, hey, had hits. There's no doubt about it. One of the best concerts I saw, probably.
You saw Kanye in concert?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Way back in the day, he was with Lupe Fiasco, NERD, and Rihanna.
Lupe Fiasco he's on that song.
Yeah,
I'm sure you knew that. Yeah,
I did. I had a buddy back in high school who introduced me to some really good music, and Lupe Fiasco was one of them. So when he performed, it was like maybe a tenth of Rexall was paying attention, but guy can rap. It was good. I'd love to go to another concert one day. I haven't been to a concert in years, Declan.
I just went to Akon and Neo.
How was that?
It was pretty crazy because, first of all, they opened the door like 2.5 hours later than they were supposed to. We were all there like waiting in the foyer in Ford Hall there. And like an announcement comes on that the doors have been delayed. Everyone groans. So no one hears what time it's actually supposed to be open. It was like a Seinfeld episode where like everyone's talking over the announcement. So we had no idea what time it was. Word of mouth gets out. It's going to be like at least another hour. So we dip out. We hit the Druid, Edmonton's favorite soccer home, hang out there for a little bit, go back. And it's like this concert starts 2.5 hours late. Good show, but also two washed unks at the same time. And Neo was like, yeah, I'm gonna play you a little bit from my new album, and everyone sat down pretty quickly. But like Akon, man, I'll tell you, that guy has hits. So to see his old ass like moving around there and bumping and grooving, it was pretty cool. It was a nice throwback to 08.
I love it. I mean, I love the veteran move by you guys. Like, let's just dip out, come back. But like, you have to know those guys. I'd say the majority of the concert viewers are millennials. Can't be putting the show on 2 hours late. That's bedtime.
That concert was the most collective washed group of people I've ever seen in my life. Myself and I'll throw me in there.
Could have been
but
me.
I was like, wow, everyone really hit their peak in 2011. That's at this concert right now.
Man. The trends, the trends you would have seen, Deck. It was unbelievable. Trey remembers is the glow in the dark tour for Kanye. Yeah. With like those glasses with the slits in them.
Yeah, dude. I remember I wanted a pair so bad.
Not functional, and I don't even think they looked cool unless you were Kanye. MTR says his last album, Samurai, is unbelievable. Talking Lupe? I haven't heard it. I will have to check it out. Mickey Northside, what a concert. All heavy hitters. Yeah. Like, I'd be curious to know, like, what's the best concert you saw start to finish with the opening act? My first ever concert was Red Hot Chili Peppers, but it was the Mars Volta. People have told me before, like, they're great. It wasn't for me. So top to bottom, it wasn't the best. Saw Jay-Z once here, but I didn't really know the openers. It's like hard to say. But yeah, tough to really match that Kanye one, especially with what would go on to be like. Rihanna became massive. Obviously, NERD had Pharrell. So that was pretty big. And Lupe was good. Chris Brown was at that concert too. They had a dance off at one point and dueling drums. It was unreal. Got a little blurry towards the end of the night, though. The pops at Rexall were flowing. If you were old enough to have those, you know what I'm talking about. Right now, we're going to get to the stats of the day from All Star Construction. Founded in 2009, they continue to grow. They're hiring general laborers, hydrovac operator, backhoe operator, gas piping technicians, and more. Go to Indeed.com and search All Star Construction. Earlier today, in the major leagues of baseball, I don't know if you guys happened to see it, but Tarek Skubal, pretty good. Became the fastest player to reach 1,000 strikeouts in Detroit Tigers history, surpassing Max Scherzer of the Toronto Blue Jays. Overall, 17th pitcher in franchise history to reach 1,000. So he did it pretty quickly, 153 games. Only player to do it faster, Randy Johnson, 152. So you look at that, pretty impressive, I would say, for Skubal. And in all likelihood, probably his final game as a member of the Tigers with the trade deadline coming up. You got the standing ovation. Kind of a good storybook way to wrap that one up. Other news and numbers to look at here. earlier today, I'm sure you saw it. Macklin Celebrini got the big payday, $18.8 million. So, highest AAV in the NHL next season, just surpassing Leo Carlson. That's how it works. How long will Macklin Celebrini be the highest paid player? Probably a year. As soon as that next player is up, he'll get his. But when you look at the San Jose Sharks and what they have, he's going to be making more next year than the next three highest paid players when it comes to forwards. Mason Marchment gets 6.75. Then you've got Toffoli and Wenberg at $6 million. That's 18.75. He'll be at 18.8. So there you go. Macklin Celebrini. Heck, if you look at the production he had last year, I'd say he's worth it. Then on the back end, you got Darnell Nurse and Jacob Trouba making about that much as well. So he's, yes, he's being paid deservedly so. And I would expect that C to be thrown on this sweater as well. But when it comes to Skubal, pretty incredible stuff for him. Anytime you're in a conversation with Randy Johnson, you're doing something right. 1,000 career strikeouts. Good for him. And the last few years he's had with Detroit has been incredible numbers. More text rolling in here. Cat Dad said, I went to the Hard Knock Life Tour. Opened with DMX, Meth and Red, then Jay-Z. All right. That's pretty good. I'll give you that one. Not bad. Shinedown opening for Kiss was a great concert. Yeah, I like Shinedown. I don't know too many other songs, but occasionally they'll do a really good cover as well. Kiss, we know. Max says Megadeth with Exodus and Anthrax back in February. It was a pretty killer lineup. I'm not as familiar with Exodus. Heard of Anthrax and Megadeth. That sounds good. Lamb of God opening for Metallica was insane. Insane would be the word to describe that. I would agree. Northside Corey says, Connor, I was at that Mars Volta show and had between the extracurriculars, I had indulged in the fact that there were 9 people in the band. There was way too much going on for me. LOL. That's, Corey, that was exactly it for me when I saw that concert. I was just like, what is happening? And maybe like if you were familiar with the band and you knew the music, you would know exactly what was going on. But for me trying to get into it, I couldn't. I think I went and bought a t-shirt. Overpriced, of course. CH, going to check out Queens of the Stone Age and Foo Fighters should be good. I was also at the Peppers and Mars Volta concert. Oddly enough, the drummer for Mars Volta is the now Queens of the Stone Age drummer. Going to Weezer, the Shins, Silver Sun Pickups in Vancouver. That's a great lineup. I want to go see the Foo Fighters so bad. That's bucket list for me. I guess I could just buy tickets. It's not that hard to go see them when they tour, but I haven't done it yet. But I would like to go see the Foo. That'd be sick. Trey just following up that Lauryn Hill opened up for Drake, Usher, 50 Cent, and G Unit. It was just Drake featuring guests. Nobody knew who was coming. Okay, I'm going to show my age here. OVO Fest or OVO Fest? I know it means October's very own. Deck, do you know what it is? Mac, either of you?
Say that one more time.
Sounds so old. OVO Fest in Toronto?
Yeah, OVO.
Or is it OVO
Drake,
Fest?
Yeah, it's Drake's like company label group. Yeah.
October's very own.
Yes.
I know that, but I just...
OVO.
OVO.
You ain't listening to enough Drake, is what I'm hearing.
Well,
He drops it.
I like his clothing. He's got the owl, right? I'd buy that.
Yeah.
Don't, Connor the intern, you're wearing one of those hats right now. Cool hat. Foo Fighters are great live. They're at Commonwealth in September. Like Corey, maybe I should go. I might have to. Kenny Chesney's stadium tour. Taylor Swift was 19. Still country and the act before Kenny. And I think I won tickets from 1260 from Janet, a longtime happy listener. That sounds like something we would have given tickets to. That'd be good. Taylor Swift at 19. Still country. Saw the Smashing Pumpkins at Northlands. Sick show from Kevlar. We went to David Gilmour in LA 2 years ago. Just him. Best show top to bottom. I don't know much about David Gilmour. Lead guitars for Pink Floyd. So just by himself, but not a heck of a show. Mac, you love Pink Floyd. Her mic doesn't work. She said, I do. That would be cool. Seeing guys on their own. I wonder what the venue was like. A smaller venue would be awesome. Travis Scott, Kendrick Lamar, great too from MTR. MTR is going from Lamb of God and Metallica to Travis Scott and Kendrick Lamar. Diversity when it comes to musical selections. I want to see Metallica as well. I thought they should have done the Super Bowl. That was my pick originally. I was fine with the selection. But Metallica playing in the Bay, I think, would have been actually quite sick. 1-833-401-1440. We just got onto the topic of best concerts top to bottom, including opening acts. So if you do have any more of those, you can let us know. Declan, would you say Akon? And who was it?
Neo.
Top to bottom, pretty good. You got better?
It was pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
It was pretty good. I saw Kiss not too long ago as well. That was dope. I saw 50 Cent as well. That was pretty dope.
Who opened for him? Anyone good?
For 50 Cent? I have no, I couldn't tell you.
G-Unit?
I don't know. Kiss was a good concert, though. That might be a little bit more for this demo. And I did appreciate that one. They can still put on a show at 80 years old. Sweating a lot, but still put on a good show.
Any encore?
No. I don't think they had an encore. I don't remember. I don't think they did, though. I think they were pretty much like, it's time to get out of here.
Show's over. Get out. That makes sense. Well, keep the text rolling in here. 1-833-401-1440. Best concert you've been to, top to bottom. You can let us know. Or if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, get in the chat. We can do it there as well. A busy second hour coming up here on the Jason Gregor Show. We're going to talk a lot of NFL. Eric Williams from the NFL on Fox going to join us, and Ben Stanig as well, talk some Washington Commanders. But first, a Sports 1440 update with Declan Kruger, brought to you by Go Auto. Shop over 17,000 vehicles at goauto.ca with 31 new vehicle brands and 73 locations to choose from. Find your car at goauto.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Scores around the major leagues. Finals today saw the Blue Jays getting their 50th win of the season, 5-2 over the Nats. Marlins beat the Phillies 8-6. D-backs over the Pirates 3-0. Mets over the Braves 3-2. And the Orioles over the Tigers 10-9 in 12 innings. Right now, Rockies and Padres tied 0-0 in the bottom of the third. Giants at the Brewers 3-2 in the bottom of the fourth. At 4:40, we'll see the Rangers and the Rays. In the late game tonight, we'll see the Mariners and the Dodgers. Edmonton Riverhawks in action out in Kamloops, 7:35 first pitch for that one. And some news from around the sporting world is Macklin Celebrini, as you heard on this show, signing a 5-year, $94 million extension with a record $18.8 million AAV. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports Radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Albertans love to debate the best way to enjoy summer sports.
No. Playing on the field is the best, man.
No way. Watching from the sidelines, way more relaxing.
You're both crazy. Checking out the game from the Bro Zone is where it's at. But there's one thing every sports fan agrees on.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
Wherever you catch the action, load up on Alberta's best beef jerky.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Because you can't have summer fun with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Car shopping sucks. That's right. Going back and forth 100 times just to get a price. Give me your credit card for a test drive. What's all these extra fees? That sounds ridiculous. At Northgate, we do things a little differently. Good deals on new, pre-owned vehicles, good people, and a great selection. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
The Brick's 55th birthday bash continues with big savings store-wide. Save on furniture, mattresses, appliances, and electronics. Plus, take 55 months to pay with 0% interest on furniture and mattresses, or 36 months on appliances and electronics on approved credit. Find up to 30% off bedroom packages, up to 40% off select mattresses, and don't forget, you could be one of 275 winners with over $155,000 in prizes to be won. Hurry in. The birthday bash ends July 29th at the Brick. Saving you more.
You don't just need property services. You need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado,
There's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, jersey barriers, and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned. Over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. The goal of every one of the thousands of hair restoration procedures I've performed is a full, natural-looking head of hair. I work directly with my patients for the consultation, the procedure, and the follow-up, so we can achieve the best results possible. When people see what we accomplish, I don't want them to think, "Wow, great hair transplant." I want them to think,
Wow, great hair.
Go to drvanceelliott.com and contact us today.
Say hello to Alberta's home for reeling and dealing. With Play Alberta, you can spin into the excitement of popular slots like Cash Eruption and Desert Fantasy. Experience Alberta-exclusive games and get in on the action of live dealer tables with all new elevated stakes. However you prefer to play, the fun is ready when you are. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows. Locally manufactured and installed, Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all your residential needs. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 3 o'clock, welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, tonight, the Gold Ball Jackpot. Lotto 649, 38 mil. Tomorrow, you got the Grand A Day. Also, on Friday, Lotto Max, $15 million. PlayAlberta.ca. Remember to use your game sense. Connor Halley sitting in for the vacationing Jason Gregor. We've got Declan Kruger, Mackenzie, Country Mac, Birthday Girl. There's lots of names. Mackenzie McLennan here as well, keeping us on track on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Make sure you text in to give her a big happy birthday. Big G just sent this one in as well. Happy birthday, Mac. Lots to get to here on the show. We're going to talk some Commanders coming up in the next segment. But right now, we are going to go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical. They're the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions in projects, service, tag, and solar for commercial or residential. Contact them at actionelectrical.net as we're going to talk NFL with Eric Williams, covers the league for the NFL on Fox. Eric, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Connor. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we really appreciate you joining us here on the show. So Brad had told me he lined up the interview. Are you down in Arizona today?
Yeah, man. It's 105 degrees. I am inside, thankfully, but they say it's a dry heat. I don't know if I believe them. It's very hot outside.
Oh my goodness. I couldn't even imagine it. Like we're like obviously different units of temperature. We're hovering around 22. I'm finally comfortable up here, but it's been hot and rainy. So hopefully things are going okay temperature wise. You're staying hydrated. Let's start off with the Arizona Cardinals and Jacoby Brissett, I guess kind of fought the Cards. He won. QB won down there after they've moved on from Kyler Murray, releasing him. He goes to the Minnesota Vikings. But what have been the takeaways for the first few days of camp for the Arizona Cardinals?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of chip on their shoulder in terms of, being an afterthought nationally. Nobody's really talking about this team. Obviously, everybody's talking about the Rams because of the moves they made this offseason. But if you look at their roster offensively, you mentioned Jacoby, who, even though he went 1-11 last year, put up, decent numbers. They get Mike Wilson back. Trey McBride, who's probably the best tight end in the league. They draft Jeremiah at running back. Connor's still here, and they signed Algiers. Didn't even mention Marvin Harrison Jr. A lot of playmakers on offense. So I think they feel like they'll be able to score points with new head coach Mike LaFleur coming over from the Rams. It's just going to be, what happens defensively. Will they be able to get off the field and keep people out of the end zone? But I think, they feel like maybe they could sneak up on people. I guess the last thing I'd say about the Cardinals is, if they double their win total and go 8-9, it's still going to be hard to catch the rest of the teams in this division, because any one of those three, you're talking about the Rams, the Niners, and then obviously the defending champion Seahawks, could win the Super Bowl. So they could have a much improved team in terms of overall record and still be way behind the other three teams.
Yeah, that's an incredibly tough division. Unfortunately for the Cardinals, maybe it plays into their advantage. They can get another high draft pick. I want to ask you about their first round pick from this past draft. Jeremiah Love out of Notre Dame, taken 3rd overall. We're kind of in that era where people scoff at taking a running back that high, but Jeremiah Love looks to be the real deal. How has he looked so far in camp?
Exactly what you said. I mean, he's explosive. They're excited about him in terms of what he's going to bring to their offense, ability to create chunk plays and create balance on offense. So, Jacoby doesn't have to carry the offensive load in terms of the passing game. But I still think they're going to use these other backs. I mean, the running back room is probably one of their better, overall position groups when you look at, 1 through 4, in that group. And so I don't know if he's going to be a guy that's going to get 20 to 25 touches a game. I think maybe early on, at least, as he, learns this offense, which is a very complex offense, having covered the Rams on a regular basis that LaFleur is bringing over. It might take him a while to adjust. Certainly going to take him a while to adjust to the speed of the game. I've seen that when I covered the Chargers. Melvin Gordon took him a while to get going. So I think he might be a guy that you see play better in the second half of the season, and maybe they lean on some of the veteran guys like Connor in the first half.
Yeah, you mentioned Melvin Gordon. I still remember his first game against the Detroit Lions. He had that incredible run, but his elbow just touched the ground. I thought he held himself up. It didn't happen, but good name drop there. Melvin Gordon was a fun player. Now, just going back to the Cards just for a little bit here, because you mentioned the depth that they do have. Trey Benson, James Conner, Tyler Algier, who, backs up Bijan Robinson, now comes to back up Jeremiah Love. Do you foresee a trade happening here, or do you think they tried their best to maybe keep all 4?
No, I think it's possible that one guy gets moved. Like you said, there's not enough footballs to go around, and all those guys are probably guys that are capable of carrying it 15, 20 times a game for a team. Connor is still not fully healthy. He's still recovering, in terms of a leg injury. So he hasn't been full go in practice. And I think they're going to kind of slow play that and make sure he's fully ready to go before they bring him out, potentially, so they can make sure he's fully healthy if they want to move him. Algier, like you said, is one of the guys that kind of gets screwed. I mean, he signed here and he was going to be the guy that he kind of moved away from Bijan and could be the number one option. And now they draft Love, and he's going to be kind of in the same situation. But in watching practice, he's the guy that's kind of getting those first team reps with this group. So don't be surprised if he's the guy that maybe gets a lot of touches early for this group.
Let's move on to the LA Rams. You touched on them a little bit there, and this is a team that was great. I mean, I probably would have said number 2 team in the NFL last season. The only problem was the number 1 team in their division, and they had to go through them to get to the Super Bowl in the Seattle Seahawks. But they go out there, they make the big trade to get Myles Garrett from the Cleveland Browns. It cost them a great young player, but Myles Garrett was phenomenal last season. We know that. They get Jalen Watson and Trent McDuffie from the Kansas City Chiefs. What do you think this defense can do? I mean, we've obviously know they're quite strong, but are we looking at undisputed top defense in the NFL this season?
I think Houston might have an argument, based on who they have in their front and who they have in the back end. and what they did last year, but they should be competing for that spot. You mentioned Jared Verse, who is a good player. You're talking about a transcendent player in Myles Garrett, obviously single-season sack leader from last year. And the difference between Garrett and Jared Verse is Myles' ability to finish. I think Verse had maybe 5 sacks last year. And that's a huge deal when you talk about, end of games, being able to close out games. And so, if Aaron Donald comes back, which, it sounds like it's a legitimate possibility that's going to happen, and you're running out Aaron Donald, Kobe Turner, Myles Garrett, Byron Young, that's probably the best front four in the league. Nathan Landman's the middle linebacker, who played solid for them last year. They gave him an extension. And then you mentioned it, McDuffie and Jalen Watson. That was really the weakness of the defense last year. The Seahawks were able to slice and dice them with JSN in that NFC Championship game. And so they'll hopefully have somebody that can shut him down in terms of the back end. And I think, if they can get off the field with what they have offensively, they're going to be tough to beat because they can win games a lot of different ways. They can beat you 38-35, or they could beat you 13-10 with that defense. And so really it's all about Stafford staying healthy. I think that's the Achilles tendon of this team. If Stafford gets hurt and now you got to play Ty Simpson, it's a much different offense.
The Rams, I love Sean McVay and what he's able to do. We see the disciples from his coaching staff always go on to have success. But last year it was going to the 13 personnel with 3 tight ends, Colby Parkinson, Tyler Higbee, Terrence Ferguson, all having good stats. And I was kind of looking at some of the numbers here and what they were able to do. When they were in 13 personnel, they averaged about 5 yards per carry. Stafford was completing 70% of his passes. He threw 13 touchdowns. And now you're seeing these other teams doing it just in their city. The Chargers go and pay Charlie Kolar. They're bringing in David Njoku to go with Aranda Gadsden. There was a lot of tight ends selected in the draft this year. It's crazy what Sean McVay does, just continuing finding ways to tweak his offense and, leading to an MVP season for Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, Sean zigs when other people zag. He was always known as running 11 personnel or 3 receiver sets. That was kind of their base personnel over the years. They would run that like 70% of the time. And he liked it because he could run effectively out of it and he could pass effectively out of it. And so defenses didn't know, what he was going to do. And so you mentioned it, they go heavy personnel with just 3 tight end sets, but they're still able to effectively throw the football out of that because of the athleticism that they have at the tight end position. And they can still kind of spread teams out, even though they're in 3 tight end sets. And so obviously defenses are going to be looking for that. And so I'm interested to see what the adjustment to the adjustment is. Does he go back to running 11 personnel, which is predominantly what he's done, throughout his career, or does he continue to run, 3 tight end sets? He did draft another tight end to kind of beef up that position group. So that would lead you to believe that he's going to continue to have that in his arsenal and continue to use it.
Yeah, incredible to run the ball for 2,000 yards with Kyron Williams and Blake Corum, and then Puka Nacua having an unbelievable year. Even Devontae Adams, the yardage maybe wouldn't be where he wanted. He missed a couple games, but finding the end zone 14 times. Loved what they did. As Eric Williams of Fox Sports joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show, Connor Halley sitting in. Now their crosstown rival, we'll say the LA Chargers, kicking off a new season with a new offensive coordinator, Mike McDaniel, formerly of the Miami Dolphins. What do you think he's going to bring to this offense and potentially try to unlock in Justin Herbert?
Well, we just talked about it with the Rams. They want to run the football just like everybody else does. That's kind of McDaniel's superpower, is being able to create a diversity in the run game and being innovative in how he sets up the run, either with motions or formations. So I would expect Marion Hampton to run for over 1,000 yards in this offense if he can stay healthy. They did bring Keaton Mitchell over from the Ravens, and McDaniel likes him a lot. So it might be a running back by committee, but they're going to want to run the football because they can't have Herbert getting hit as much as he did last year. He's not going to make it through the end of the season, getting hit 8-10 times a game. They are getting both of their bookend tackles back, and Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt, both those guys are healthy. They made some moves in the offseason to beef up the interior of the offensive line, so they should be better in terms of pass blocking. It'll be interesting to see what happens at receiver. Lab McConkey had kind of a down year last year. Let's see if he's able to kind of get back to where he was, previously. And then, Quentin Johnson is a guy I think that's going to benefit from, again, having a new offense and Mike McDaniel and maybe being used a little bit more effectively in terms of plays that fit his skill set.
Sticking in the AFC West, I know the Denver Broncos top dog in the division, but the Kansas City Chiefs with what they have coming off an off year, or Patrick Mahomes, obviously a lot of rehab this season. What do you expect out of the Chiefs this season?
I think this is the best running back that Reed has had since Jamal Charles was there in terms of explosive ability to make chunk plays out of the backfield. And so I think we're going to see a return to maybe Reed using the screen game more, like he did with Charles or LaShawn McCoy and Westbrook, if you remember when he was in Philadelphia, to create some easy, plays for Mahomes, who's coming off of that, season-ending knee surgery. You can't have Mahomes out there scrambling 8-10 times a game, coming off of that. Probably not going to be fully healthy, even though he's been cleared. So you're going to want to lean on your playmakers, Kenneth Walker, Kelsey. You're going to need to get more consistent play from your receiver group. And then the O-line needs to be more effective in terms of protecting Mahomes and make Mahomes more of a point guard instead of a guy that is the engine that drives the offense. I do think that they're going to rebound. I think they're going to be better. I don't know if they're going to win the division, but I would be surprised if they don't make the playoffs.
Eric Williams, Fox Sports, joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in. He can text us 1-833-401-1440. Just want to ask your thoughts. We get into training camp and the storylines. We're already seeing the injuries. It's awful. We've seen running back holdouts now, or hold-ins. Sorry, Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson. Obviously, both guys looking to get paid. Which training camp are you looking at here with the most intrigue of a team that, maybe it's disappointing, maybe it's a lot of potential, but which training camp specifically has your attention?
I think it's Philadelphia. I think with the new offensive coordinator in Mannion, A.J. Brown leaving, being traded, going to the Patriots, there's a lot of pressure on Hurts to kind of be the guy now, with all the stories out there about, maybe not being the best guy in the locker room. I don't know if I totally believe that. This is a guy that's had a lot of success in the league. He's a Super Bowl MVP. He's won a Super Bowl. They won a lot of games. He has another offensive coordinator, another offense to learn. But I do feel like there's going to be pressure not only on him, but Nick Sirianni to go out there and, make another deep playoff run, perhaps get to Super Bowl. So I think that's one camp I'm watching.
Eric, hey, thanks a lot for doing this today. Really appreciate it, and hopefully we can get you on again during the season.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me, Connor. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. There you go. Eric Williams covers the NFL for the NFL on Fox. I really appreciate him giving up some time. That heat does not sound ideal. We're going to continue our talk around the NFL here. We're going to head out to Washington, talk some Commanders in the next segment, but I want to get to a couple of these texts. 1-833-401-1440. We just randomly got into the topic of concerts you've been to, top to bottom, that have been the best. Dr. Phil says, boys, how about New Kids on the Block back in the 90s at Northlands Coliseum? Couldn't tell you. Who was there with them, Dr. Phil? I know a couple of the songs. I think my older sister probably would have been more into it than I was, but I do remember the band. Max is my very first concert. Far East Movement opened for LMFAO. Wouldn't call it a good concert, though. I actually saw LMFAO in the mall here at, I think it was Ed's Rec Room at the time. It was after Reds. I think it was Ed's. Awesome concert. It was a small venue. You're right up close. That was pretty cool. I went to the 2003 AC/DC, Rolling Stones. Other people, including Justin Timberlake. The SARS Festival. AC/DC, Rolling Stones, Rush. That would be pretty awesome. Al the Bus Driver. I would say that would be an unbelievable show. Delta Valley Jeff says, honorable mention to seeing Nickelback open for Headstones at Reds before Nickelback was a thing. See, that would be awesome. He also says the best concert was Aerosmith, front row center stage at a 16-year-old. Should have just retired from concerts after that one. Rod tells us, I've been to a lot of concerts in my life, and hands down, the best was in Vegas watching Gorillaz. Really? Whereabouts, Rod? That could change things. Smaller venues are really cool. I saw Linkin Park at the MGM, and it was unbelievable. They had a great opener. that we missed because one of my friends wanted to shower. He's like, oh, I just got to shower first. We waited for him to shower, missed the opening band, and then got to see Linkin Park, who was phenomenal. I will say that was a really good show. Beerman says, I worked at New Kids on the Block concert in the early 90s. When they crashed out of the screen in the places of the cartoons, it was crazy. See, that sounds awesome. Cartoons on the big screen, then you jump out. That's funny. MC Hammer with Paula Abdul from Ryan. That's just screams the 2000s or 90s. No, that'd be 90s for sure, Ryan. Keep the text rolling in here. We are going to do a giveaway for some Elks tickets coming up in the 340 segment, so stick around for that. Coming up next, we'll talk Commanders. Can Jaden Daniels bounce back, stay healthy? I guess we're going to find out. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Okay, new strategy. I'll just live in the freezer till October. It's spacious in here. It's spacious.
There's a better way to survive the coming AC season. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. We offer convenient financing options and fast appointments so you can enjoy your entire home, not just the freezer.
Now I can leave the frozen peas where they belong.
Book now at ProSolutionsInc.ca.
Are you a skilled laborer? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you. A heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience, All-Star Construction wants to talk to you, too. With work in and around Edmonton for local land developers, All-Star Construction offers year-round employment. Whether it's power, gas, or telecom, developers rely on All-Star Construction to get the job done. So if you're a skilled laborer or a heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience searching for work, search All-Star Construction on Indeed.
It's Dollar Drink Summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax, all summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees at participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
There's still time to book your tournament at the Ranch Golf and Country Club.
As one of Alberta's top tourney courses, the Ranch makes hosting fun and easy for any group or business. No matter how unique or unusual, they'll accommodate your vision for an event no one will soon forget.
Start planning your tournament today at their beautifully landscaped course on the outskirts of West Edmonton. On-site event coordinators are here to help, but hurry, availability is limited and booking fast.
Visit theranchgolf.com.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Get ready for a night of rock with the Gene Simmons Band. Monday, November 30th at Silent Ice Center in Nisku. The Gene Simmons Band, performing your favorite classic hits. Monday, November 30th at Silent Ice Center in Nisku. Tickets on sale now at silenticecenter.com. Don't miss the Gene Simmons Band.
He came home, and right away I saw that look in his eyes. I knew what was coming. Before I could even speak, he raised his hand
and just kept texting me over and over, asking where I was, who I was with, demanding I respond immediately or I'd regret it. I couldn't escape.
Because he stepped in front of the door and locked it. I had nowhere to go. I was completely cut off.
From my friends and family. He deleted my social accounts, changed my passwords, blocked their numbers. I had no way to reach anyone, and that hurt.
More than you can imagine.
Tech abuse is real abuse. If you or someone you know is using technology to harm or control, change is possible. Learn how to end the violence at alberta.ca/endgbv. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Popping bottles like a blizzard.
Portions of this hour are brought to you by Papa John's. Calling all pizza lovers. At Papa John's, get a large one-topping pizza for only $14.99 using promo code L1499 at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$325 and welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Remember, use your game sense. Have some fun. Major League Baseball tonight. We got some specials going on. Go check it out. PlayAlberta.ca/sports. Check out the Jason Gregor Show special. I'm Connor Halley. Sitting in for Jason, we got Declan Kruger, Mackenzie McLennan with you here as well. As we continue our look around the NFL right now, with our big guest of the day brought to you by the Spruce Grove Saints. The Spruce Grove Saints are looking forward to opening night, September 18th, and a spectacular 2026-2027 season. Saints Hockey School runs from August 24th to the 28th. All ages, U9, U11, U13, and U16. Sign up today at sgsaints.ca as we bring in Ben Standig and get his work at the Last Man Static Substack. Ben, good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing all right. I'm a little nervous now that I'm the big guest of the day, but I appreciate you having me on.
No pressure, no pressure. It's easy conversation here for the big guest of the day. And the Washington Commanders, a team a lot of people have their eyes on this season. They've got one of the most dynamic young quarterbacks in the NFL on this team. The key to that being staying healthy. This year, you've got Laremy Tunsil, one of the best left tackles in football there. I like the offensive line, but I mean, what kind of emphasis do you think the team has put on making sure they keep Daniels healthy this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think that broadly, Coach Dan Quinn has really kind of emphasized that in order, because they had injuries all over the place last year, and he's really tried to emphasize getting in the best shape of your career probably takes more than you think. That you're going up against the best of the best. Every guy out there is a crazy athlete. So if you really want to stand out and help your team win, you got to take it to another level. And Zay Daniels, I think, has embraced that. Look, you've seen him play. He's never going to be some, monster out there. He's definitely not Cam Newton or some physical quarterback, but, you can always add a bit more muscle, get more tone, whatever. And he did say he worked pretty hard to do that. He did look a little bit bigger when we saw him back in OTAs than he had the previous year. He had, the thing is, he's had all these injuries, but none of them have been like terribly serious. Like it's, a hamstring here, a little bit of a knee sprain there, lands on his elbow. Like it's just sort of these random things. So it's not, I don't know that we can say he's like injury prone, even though there have been a fair amount of injuries, but yeah, certainly he's doing what he can. And, beyond that, one thing they're doing this year is that he was exclusively in the shotgun the last couple of years in a no-huddle offense. Now they are going more under center with a plan to huddle. It sounds like an odd thing, I know, but and I think the belief is that's going to help because it allows for more play action. It's going to help the offensive line, kind of get together after every play to discuss what they need to do. And I think including, helping Daniels. So I think there should be some benefits just from these sort of basic changes to the offense that are significant, but, it's just different from a year ago.
We always talk about how the running game can help a quarterback here. Rashad White comes over from Tampa. And then last year's training camp darling, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. I'm a Chargers fan. I know him. I saw the game where he rushed for 150 yards against my Chargers. So we know what he can do, but what are you expecting from this tandem here in the backfield for the upcoming season?
Yeah, no, it's something I've been writing and talking about today on my Substack. So Bill Krosky-Merritt had a great year last year. He was the last running back picked in the draft, 7th round, and he goes from that to being the team leading rusher, the 3rd leading rookie runner last year in the league. He's got this great ability to be elusive in traffic. He was not a 3-down back last year. When he was in there, you pretty much knew it would be a run. Not that he can't catch, but I think there was more concerns about his pass blocking than anything else. So that's something he needs to work on because their goal is to have running backs who, when they're in the game, you don't know if you're the defense what's coming, right? Rashad White has more of that ability, but he's a guy who's been, he's caught like over 40 passes every year he's been in the league. But he also, was never really the lead back in Tampa for more than just a little bit here and there. So I don't know that he's going to be a guy who could be the lead either. And I think but at the same point, he's been somebody you can tell has impressed the coaching staff so far. I think there feels like there's almost maybe more of a comfort with him in there compared to Bill again, until Bill shows that he's going to be a 3-down guy. Austin Eckler, when he was available for them, especially in 2024, he also, not necessarily like your prototypical lead back at this point of his career, but a guy that they clearly felt more comfortable with. So it's hard to figure out exactly what this looks like. If anything, I would say it's a 50-50 split, and maybe Rashad White, if they played tomorrow, would actually be the guy I would like from a fantasy football perspective. I'd say maybe you want to lean into him, but I'm still not giving up on Bill. His ability, his explosiveness, I think can take this offense to another level, but it's a matter of can he do what they're looking for in all 3 downs to maximize his other abilities.
We're talking about the Commanders with Ben Standig of the Last Man Standing Substack. Give him a follow on X as well at Ben Standig. Now, you talk about a little fantasy there, looking at the pass catcher. So let's talk receivers and tight ends. The name that pops off to a lot of people would be scary Terry McLaurin. You got Traylon Burks, who's had some success, and the team did draft Antonio Williams out of Clemson. What do you make of this receiving group, including tight ends, on the field and then also in fantasy? Why not?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, Terry McLaurin is just, proven, solid guy. We can debate whether he's belongs in the top 10 among receivers in the league, but does, game in, game out. He produces. Last year was like for the rest of the team was a bit tough from an injury perspective after his lengthy holdout. But, even when he played, he still looked like, a number one guy for sure. After that is nothing but uncertainty. They've got a bunch of guys who they are hoping somehow they can, so either somebody emerges, and maybe that's Antonio Williams, who was a 3rd-round pick this year, really impressive route runners, got good speed, primarily a slot guy in college, but they're hoping he can play outside a little bit as well. But then everybody else is sort of somebody just has not been proven to be a legit starter in this league yet. Their hope is that at a minimum that they've cobbled together a rotation where, okay, we need a speed guy deep. Well, we brought De'Ami Brown back, and he obviously was a big deal for them in the 2024 playoff run before he went to Jacksonville last year. Now he's back. They want a vertical threat in the red zone. Traylon Burks, 6'3", could jump out of the gym. Today he had a play at practice where stuff like that. Daniels found him in the corner of the end zone, and he made a play. I mentioned Williams with the route running. Van Jefferson, a guy who's been around the league, he hasn't dropped a pass in a couple of years. So if you need somebody to be reliable, he's that guy. Plus, you still have Luke McCaffrey and Jalen Lane, 2 recent draft picks that have some potential out of the slot. So they don't have an obvious guy, but I think they're just hoping that they've got enough pieces if they want a certain element for whatever is the opponent or the play or what have you, that they can make something work. Now, they also have a tight end. They signed Chigga from the Titans, and he, to me, looks like he might be almost like a glorified receiver in that he's got good size and speed. He's not much of a blocker, at least he wasn't with the Titans. And it looks to me like the way Washington is using him or could use him is that he could, they could put him outside to try to be a bit of a mismatch at times against, if he's going up against a corner, he's too big for them. If he's going up against a linebacker, he's too fast, et cetera. So that may be a way for them to sort of offset the notion of they don't have a viable second receiver. And I think they are going to use more 12 and 13 personnel in general. So, again, I think Okonkwo could be good from a fantasy perspective this year, although there's a lot of tight ends out there. But other than that, you got to get back to me in a few weeks, and I'll see if I can tell you if anybody's emerged yet.
Now, I do have to look on the defensive side here, and I'm on ourlads.com with the Commander's depth chart, and they color-coded. There's a lot of new players that have been added to this team. The one through the draft, though, I have to ask you about Sonny Styles. This guy was an absolute maniac at the Combine, and I think there's a lot of people really fired up to see what he can do. What have you seen from Sonny Styles at middle linebacker so far? And also, great number selection with 52.
Yeah, for sure. He, you mentioned the athleticism, and it's just, pretty eye-popping stuff. One thing, this defense, let me tie this into the evolution of the defense. when Adam Peters and Dan Quinn came in 2024, they inherited a pretty lousy roster. There'd been a lot of misses in the draft in previous years. And in order to get upgraded quicker, they went for some older vets to help also establish the culture, things like that. Then they had a surprising big year, right? Then they kind of, can't break up the band. So they kind of kept everybody around. And then the age and slow talent caught up to them last year. So this year they said, we're going to get younger, we're going to get faster, and Styles epitomizes all of that and then some. I think what stands out so far from him has been the maturity. He doesn't come across, as a rookie in the league, at least when we're talking to him, and others have said it as well. And of course, that's key because he's going to be most likely the Mike linebacker. He'll have the green dot to, relay the signals to the defense. You have to be able to communicate and, not be flustered and things along those lines. So he looks like he could be a force now. Obviously, the play is, we'll have to see. They don't have pads on yet and so on. And, I think one concern coming out of college was he's got the size, but there's to use that size for those oomph kind of hits, to be really rugged. But, we'll see. I'm not too worried about that. So he's got the goods. He's got it. And like I said, he sort of epitomizes their move to be, hey, we got to be more. We got to be more athletic across the board here. And obviously, like you said, there's not many guys who are more athletic than Sonny Styles.
The team also paid a lot of money for Odafe Owe coming over from the Chargers. He had double-digit sacks just a couple seasons ago with the Baltimore Ravens. Did that contract, when you first saw it, surprise you at all?
Not really. I mean, I get that it was 4 years, like $96 million for a guy who is not Micah Parsons, or he's not like necessarily one of the first names you rattle off when you're talking about the pass rushers. Obviously, that's one of those positions where, hey, if you're going to go into free agency to get a guy, it's going to cost you. And Washington, decided that's what they were going to do. Last year, they had Dorrance Armstrong as a pass rusher. He was really good, and then he got hurt in week 7, and the pass rush disappeared with him. Like, they just could not get after the quarterback. So they made a real emphasis to try to get more guys to get after the quarterback. And Owe, to that end, because there's upside, he's another guy, he has, the size, and he's, a big guy, but he also ran like a sub 4.40 at the combine when he was a rookie or going into the league. So, maybe they paid a premium, but it's at a position where you do that. And it's a guy that they think has upside to go to another level or two. So yeah, it was pricey, but hey, when you have a big hole and you got to fill the need, at least it makes sense to spend it at that position on a guy with his traits.
100%. Ben, just last one before we let you go here. Where do you think the Commanders end up finishing in this NFC East?
I would rather you ask me how to explain the Pythagorean theorem than figure this out, because I have no idea. I mean, look, obviously Washington was pretty miserable last year. So were the Giants, right? But I can make an argument that both of those teams should be significantly better when you just look at, sort of the law of averages, but also the moves they made. Meanwhile, Philadelphia, they've won the division 2 years in a row. But, there's questions there. They've moved on from A.J. Brown and then there's Dallas, who, they always had a lot of talent that always comes up short. So you could tell me in all different directions the way things go. It'd be hard to not say that Philly still isn't the best team. And I just, I could tell you that Washington comes in 4th and yet has something akin to like a 500 record. I think all these teams could make the playoffs to a degree. I think all these teams could be very disappointing. So I don't know where I make of Washington yet. I think if their defense, which was absolutely wretched last year, is at least sort of closer to like league average, and Jaden Daniels can play the majority of the games, I don't think there's any reason why this team can't get to say 9 or 10 wins. But that's not necessarily the most likely outcome. But let's see where they look like in a few weeks, and the rest of the division as well. I really don't know how to make heads or tails of all these teams. There's just all sort of in the same sort of kind of range to me.
I totally agree with you. It kind of feels like that division, and then the NFC South as well. That's another one for me where, like, pull names out of a hat. I feel like it could go any way. Ben, thanks so much for doing this today. Really appreciate it, and enjoy the rest of camp.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
There you go. Ben Standig joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in. Check out his work, The Last Man Standing Substack, or online at X at Ben Standig. Appreciate his time joining us. And yeah, I've got questions with this Commanders team. I think obviously it's mostly on Jaden Daniels. If he stays healthy, this team can do some things defensively. How quickly do they come together? Can Sonny Styles adapt into the league and immediately? This guy's an absolute animal. He's huge. He's athletic. Odafe Owe, I said it before. I think a lot of his success came, at least in his time with the Chargers, when you were able to go into those NASCAR packages with Tuli Pelotu and Khalil Mack. Can they duplicate that here with the Commanders? Yeah, probably. Those passing situations are going to come. Will he get home? We'll find out, but he certainly priced himself out of the Chargers region for sure. We will take a break. When we come back, we're going to give away some tickets to the Elks and Rough Riders game on Saturday. We'll let you know how to win when we return. It is the Jason Gregor Show, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Kickoff is coming August 1st. Elks, Rough Riders at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. The prehistoric party is back. Presented by Purelator Tackle Hunger. Experience family-friendly fun all game long with a dinosaur-themed contest. Get your tickets at goelks.com/tickets.
When your project can't afford downtime, call Japa Equipment Rentals. From excavators and wheel loaders to compaction equipment, Japa has the machines you need. Trusted since 1972. Visit japaequipment.com or stop our Edmonton or Calgary locations.
At Papa John's, we know it's not just a pizza. It's a family gathering. A happy birthday, a special celebration, or just a sigh of relief at the end of a busy day. For a limited time, get large one-topping pizzas for only $14.99 each on original, thin, or New York-style crust. Use promo code L1499 at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app. Get yours today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
What's 426 divided by 12? Okay, if I carry the one... yeah, we're out. Go Auto has a free credit calculator that does the math for you. See what you could qualify for, estimate your payments, and get a better idea of what's in your budget. Because shopping for a vehicle is exciting, but crunching numbers, yeah, not so much. Text check to 780-777-7777. That's check to 780 all sevens.
It's the hard jobs that take know-how, expertise, and the right experience. And that's why, time and time again, GS Construction gets the call when it comes to the hard jobs. Underground projects that are genuinely difficult, like deep installs, tough ground conditions, or tight urban sites. So remember, when it's a hard job, the list gets short, and GS Construction is on it. Want to tackle the hard jobs? We're looking for experienced pipe layers and topmen. Visit gsconstruction.ca today.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. For just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
It might have been scraped by the snowblower, dented while door crashing, or crunched at the company Christmas party. At some point over the winter, your car was damaged, and it's been hiding under a coat of winter grime.
Then come and see Robertson Body Works. We can take care of the damage and the dirt. This week only, call and book a repair and get a complete auto detailing absolutely free.
But you have to book your appointment before the week is up. Go to robertsonbodyworks.com.
I'm Tim Robertson, and I fix cars.
Photographers, start your cameras. Vision Credit Union's annual photo contest is back. We're asking you to show us the people, places, and moments that made you glad you chose this rural life. Maybe it's the view from your farm, a walk down Main Street, neighbors pitching in, a weekend at the rodeo, or a sunset down a back road. Share your photo to show why life in rural Alberta is a choice worth celebrating. Enter and vote at whatsyourshare.ca.
If you want to get with me, there's some things you...
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. Made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.344, welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight, the Gold Ball Jackpot, Lotto 649, 38 mil. You can get it at PlayAlberta.ca. Remember, use your game sense. Deck, what's the theme for hour 2 when it comes to music?
I don't know.
Far East Movement or something?
Yeah, well, that one wasn't. That one, the first one was Like a G6, obviously Far East Movement featuring Dev.
Yeah.
This one was just her song, and I see why she didn't make it outside of Like a G6 because that song was terrible.
And
so
Dev
I'm sorry about
had
that. You
some
cut it off.
hits.
No, I don't know if she did. You cut it off pretty quickly. I think maybe next time I'll be going. What was that one song with Girls Gone What? Good Girls Go Bad. Remember that one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Mackenzie just got real excited over there. It's a birthday song, I guess. But yeah, maybe I'll do that one next break. And then hour 3, I'll get a little bit more traditional with it.
Dev with the Cataracts, man. It just taking me back like the Pint in, I don't even know, 2011. She had some hits, and then she just kind of went away. But
Like
okay.
a G6 is still a banger.
Yeah, man, it's tough to stay relevant. I mean, I personally have fought with that. I don't even know what festivals' names are, things like that. But we move on. Hey, we're gonna give away some tickets to the Elks Riders game. We'll see how many I decide to give away. It is kind of my call here. I've got a lot. I've got like 16 tickets that I'm in charge of giving away. So shout out to Gregor and Elks Nation, playalberta.ca. They want to send people to games. They want to get people there. So for today, we'll just make it very simple. You just text us 1-833-401-1440. You have to be able to go to the game Saturday, mid-afternoon, 5 o'clock. To me, perfect time for a game. Text us your favorite member of the Green and Gold of all time with your email and full name. That's what we need. We do need your email and full name. Text us your favorite member of the Eskimos or Elks all time or the football club, and we'll send a couple people to the game. We'll do this again tomorrow and Friday as well. Deck, I know you're a Rider fan, but if you had to pick one member of the Double E, who would be the top of your list?
4?
Just all time favorite player.
Oh, my all-time favorite Edmonton Elk / Eskimo?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a really good question. Maybe Tony Tompkins, because he was so electric in the return game for me.
TT?
Yeah, you remember him?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Was he number 14?
Thought he was... he might have been. I thought he was 28. Clearly, I didn't like him that much if I can't remember his number. Another guy, and I'm not just saying this because he's on the staff right now, but legitimately, because I appreciate the position and the way he played the game, Aaron Grimes would be up there as well.
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
And he was also like, and he still is super awesome, like willing to come on, like supports the community. When he signed with the Eagles, I was kind of bummed because like he was just such a good player. He and Dexter McCoyle, like absolute ball magnets in their gloves. They were always making plays. That's a good one. And you played the position as well, didn't you?
I did.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the NFL. That's how I got this job.
Tackle Chuba Hubbard.
I did that part. That part's actually, I did tackle Chuba Hubbard.
We got some good ones rolling in here. 1-833-401-1440. Pillman says Double E number 2 all the way, boys. I'm assuming Giz. That's what Brendan had. But at the same time, Jurassic Park says, boys, easy. Fred Stamps. Yeah, we used to go to Labor Day, and when they'd say go Stamps go, we would subtly say Fred, just to slide that in there. Gizmo from Cat Dad. Taylor says Eddie Brown. Downtown Eddie Brown or Taylor Orrell. Oh, that's your name. I was like, I don't recognize that player. Obviously, Eddie Brown was the guy. Huge play in the Grey Cup. Got to be Scott Kloman. 1 game played, but a great guy. Scott actually came out to an Elks watch party, and he was a great guy. So, or is a great guy. I'm on board with that one. Really nice guy. Kyle says Eddie Steele. The real deal Eddie Steele. You know this guy could play almost anywhere.
Me too.
Eddie?
Yeah. Eddie. Love you, buddy. My podcast partner.
Kind of missed it on that one there. He was great. Offense, defense. Could throw the football, fill the water bottles if he needed. He was like Boobie Miles in Friday Night Lights, whatever it takes. New person to add to the list. James goes with Jason Tucker, number 83. That was actually the first jersey I bought. Jason Tucker. When he had that neck injury, it was very unfortunate. Corey and Ricky Cheese going Ricky Ray. Paul goes Gizmo. A lot of Ricky Ray here. He was awesome too. Just shows up with the team. Has to work for Fritos. Becomes Frito Ray. And then just lights it up. I will say, like, upper section Y, 20-year-old Connor, watching Ricky Ray throw the corner out to either Mookie Mitchell or Jason Tucker, I would stand up and put the arms up for a celebration as soon as it left his hands. Like, as soon as those receivers made the break to the corner, over. And like, it could not be covered. Then you had Ed Hervey, guy who could fly out there, huge man. Terry Vaughn, Yak is coming. He gets the ball 3 yards, he's going to get that first down. Those offenses were awesome. When they brought in Mike Pringle as well, just give him the Grey Cup. Jim Germany, Terry Vaughn, Dwayne Mandrusiak, Warren Moon. They keep on rolling in here. We'll pick a couple winners here at some point. Eddie Spaghetti with the meatball eyes. Is that what you guys call Eddie Steele? Warren Moon. Yeah, a lot rolling in here. 1-833-401-1440. I can't even keep up. So we'll give tickets away. This is awesome. Like the people are fired up about this Edmonton Elks football team. Defensively, they've been fantastic. Offensively, it's coming together. Like you see Cody Fajardo just putting up the numbers. I think a lot of that comes from the run game, run setting up the pass. Cody Fajardo getting more confidence in his guys. It's fun to see. AJ, the helmet thrower gas. Yeah, the Labor Day incident. That just makes us love him more. Hated in Calgary, perhaps, but unbelievable talent. And I said it yesterday, like that guy on second, third, and short going over the pile, unstoppable. Senior Mobley, Terry Ray back in the day, those guys, great. Kim says Michael Riley. That's another good one. He was probably one of the best guys to deal with. If I were to tell you guys after practices, like such a nice guy, always gave good answers, willing to speak with the media. The Elks, I feel like, have been really blessed with really good guys at quarterback over the last few years here. I thought McLeod Bethel-Thompson was good. Trevor Harris, obviously now Cody Fajardo. If he wants a career in media, I think he'll have it. Very articulate. You can let us know here. Oh, how about this one? Mason says, I love Ryan King and Andrew Jones. I work with them at Crystal Glass. That's a good one. Crystal Glass. We love Crystal Glass. Kepley. A couple for Danny Kepley. Before my time, unfortunately. Drew says, oh, wait, no, sorry. John, how am I the only Terry Vaughn guy? He was incredible. Yeah, Terry Vaughn's going to get a few in there for sure. There was a guy, maybe he's listening, in the old upper section Y, had number 3, Yak. That was the jersey. Number 3, Yak. A text did come in here, and I apologize. We've got so many texts in here, I can't even find it. But it was just about the upper deck and opening that, if need be, for the green and gold this weekend. I'm kind of torn on it because I do think that there is something to, building up that desire to get in, and maybe someone buys tickets or wants to buy tickets and hey, it's sold out, can't get in, hottest ticket in town. I think there's something to that, filling up the lower bowl. But at the same time, if demand is high enough and people want the upper bowl opened, I'm into it. I don't think you have to open all of it. I mean, this is kind of a unique situation, but you're getting, hypothetically, let's just say hundreds of people wanting to buy tickets. Could you open up one section? I think so. Throw a couple security guards up there just saying, hey, this is the section that's open. This is all we're doing for now. I want to get people in the seats. I want to get them experiencing that. I also think part of it is, though, creating the buzz about getting into the seats, making sure you buy your tickets early so you're not relying on walk-up. Deck, we know the upper bowl is closed with the exception of, certain games. What side do you come out on this one? Do you like building up the anticipation, like the desire to get in and then not being able to go? Or do you think like, hey, maybe we open up a couple sections?
Yeah, like I love the idea of filling the lower bowl and having that kind of packed out. But I think it also, I think if you're going to do that, you need to tarp off the upper deck. Like you can't have all those empty seats just out there, like being looked at. But the other thing is that I really understand from the fans' perspective is they don't want to sit like in the end zones just because they're forced to sit in the lower bowl. Like they don't want to have to sit on like an off-field section when they used to sit at the 50-yard line, even if it was the upper bowl. So I wouldn't mind doing something like that, even if you only want to open up like the middle 3 sections on each side and having that in the upper bowl. I think that would be something I would look into.
I'm with you for sure. Like I don't want to watch a game from the goal line.
Yeah.
If that's like my last alternative, I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'll just stay home. It's cheaper. I can enjoy the comfort from my own home. There's no line for the washroom. Everything's cheaper. It's comfortable. I want to be watching from the midfield, in between the 20s if possible.
Yeah.
I've sat in the other places. They're fine, Deck, but you know what I'm saying.
No, and I get, sorry, I didn't mean to jump in there, but I get what people are saying. People are saying, like, when their, season tickets got canceled or moved because they closed the upper bowl, like, people who did, like, exactly what I said, were sitting on the 55-yard line in the upper deck. They were moved to the end zone, and they were like, that's not at all what I want. Like, I'm paying for this middle of the field view. So I think something like that would be cool. But the number one thing I'm doing is you got to tarp it off, because I think, like, if you just turn on TSN, like, as just a casual CFL or casual Canadian sports fan, and you see that, like, the first thing you're going to think is these guys can't sell out an upper deck. Like, you're not, like, obviously some people are going to know, but majority of people are going to turn that on and be like, wow, what a terrible environment. Look at all those empty seats up there. Like, they're not being used. I couldn't imagine it's that hard to tarp it off. So that would be what I would do. That would be the direction I'd go.
Yeah. I mean, geez, Commonwealth, 56,000. I think McMahon is the next biggest. Let me just confirm that to make sure here, because I don't want to lie to you guys.
BC Place?
BC Place, sorry, 54,000, but they have the top tarped off, right? Yeah. So then you got McMahon at 35, Mosaic and Princess Auto around 32, 33, BMO 25, as is TD Place, and then Hamilton and Percival Molson down below 25. But yeah, I'm with you. Like, I think that would be fine to tarp it off. We went through the history of the average attendances for a long time, and, like, what did we have the peak at? 41, kind of?
I think, no, dude, in the 80s, I think it was up in, like, the mid-50s. I think it was, like, 53 to 55.
Like, that's incredible.
After they won those 5 Grey Cups. Like, whew.
And tickets were probably a little cheaper. Plus, you could park on people's front lawns and backyards. That was the best. That's the one thing I would bring back. And if I ever run for council, that'll be my platform. That and City of Champion signs back on our, welcome to Edmonton.
Mix in something with the LRT as well. Just get that to run a little smoother on game days, because I know that's an issue for people, and that's real as well. Like, that's a main line of transportation there, and the way it runs and how convoluted it can be. So just focus on that one as well.
And for Struddy, peanuts will be allowed at football games. I think they were banned for a while. All my platforms will be sports. I will only get like 7 votes, but I will try to be a man of the people if I ever do run. But yeah, it's getting better. We're getting there. The momentum is going in the right way. I was at the watch party, obviously, last Thursday down at first round. Crowd was incredible. We had chants. We had everyone was into it, stoked to win their prizes. We're building it back up. So, hey, shout out to the Elks, Chris Morris, the Thompson family. Without those minds, it wouldn't be there. And then, the on-field product as well. Ed Hervey, Mark Killam, and company. They're doing some great work. It's exciting to see, because we've had a lot of negativity around the organization for a while here, and they've turned it around very quickly. And it's things you'll love to see. Shout out to Elks Nation as well for generating that buzz in the city, and Deck, maybe even motivating the boys, eh?
I think so. We got ops now.
They're watching. They're watching on the flight home. They're checking back in with elksnation.ca. We'll take another break here. Still to come on the show. Lots to get to. Of course, in the next hour, Jason Strudwick will be by. We're also going to be hearing from Mark Spector. Shang Pang will talk about the huge deal handed out to, who would I would say, one of the best young players, probably the best young player in the NHL, Macklin Celebrini, over $18 million per season. So make sure you keep it locked here on Sports 1440. You've got Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. We'll get to 5 questions, and coming up next, it is the roundtable. But first, a Sports 1440 update brought to you by HireGood. We solve real problems for businesses while creating real impact. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. Go to hiregood.ca. HireGood, stable jobs, create stable lives. Here is Declan Kruger.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Scores around the major leagues of baseball. Giants lead the Brewers 10-2 in the top of the 7th. Padres lead the Rockies 3-0 in the bottom of the 6th. Finals from earlier today, it was the Marlins over the Phillies 8-6. The Diamondbacks over the Pirates 3-0. Blue Jays beating up on the Nats 5-2. Mets over the Braves 3-2 in game 1 of their doubleheader. And in extras, the Orioles beat the Tigers 10-9. Next game up on the schedule in about 40 minutes with the Rangers and the Rays. Late game tonight, we'll see the Mariners and Dodgers at 8-10. News from around the sporting world. Macklin Celebrini and the San Jose Sharks agreeing to a 5-year, $94 million extension at a record $18.8 million AAV. Ex-Toronto Blue Jays All-Star Alex Manoah has been released by the Los Angeles Angels, and a report that the NBA's probe into the Los Angeles Clippers and Kawhi Leonard could go into 2027. Elsewhere, the Riverhawks will be in action tonight against Kamloops, 7:35 first pitch for that one. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Your weekend hotspot is at On the Rocks.
Party with Edmonton's best bands every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And we got them all.
From the Varkels to Tallboy, Radioactive, Curves, the Brute Squad, Morningwood, Roxilla, Punch Buggy, and more.
Plus, the guy who keeps the party going every weekend. DJ Kenny K on the ones and twos, live.
Get ready to have a good time this weekend.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Jeff Brab and 118th.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
You see it? Fusion Promo Marketing can make it. Fusion makes high-quality, memorable promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality, get noticed and remembered. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
It's dollar drink summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax, all summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees. At participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Japa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
Thinking of growing your business? In partnership with Prairie's Can, the Alberta Chambers of Commerce is helping businesses explore new opportunities, new markets, and build connections through organized trade missions across Canada. Find the right mission for you at abchamber.ca/trade missions.
Yeah, it's me again. And if you're sidelined with a sports injury, you already know nothing's more frustrating than being told to just rest. At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we get athletes moving sooner with our zero-gravity treadmills. You can run, train, and rebuild strength with up to 80% less body weight, so your injury heals while your confidence comes roaring back. When your sports injury's yelling, whisper back, leadingedgephysio.com, because life shouldn't hurt.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
I missed one payment, then another. Now I feel behind on everything. I can't keep up.
Falling behind happens to more people than you think, but there is a solution. My name is Parveen Middleton. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. Together, we can create a plan that fits your situation and helps you get caught up and back in control. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to book your free consultation and discover your debt-free future.
You've got better things to do than wait for an oil change. Jiffy Lube gets you in and out fast. No appointment necessary. All you have to do is roll into a location near you, and we'll take care of the rest. Every full synthetic oil change at Jiffy Lube is warranty approved and comes with a 20-point visual inspection, making sure you get back on the road safely. Find your neighborhood Jiffy Lube today. Visit jiffylubeservice.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. From weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears, and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Back to the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Check them out. PlayAlberta.ca/sports. You go to the Jason Gregor Show special. We've got our bets up there. Some for the future. The drought ends. The Oilers finish first in the Pacific, plus 200. Boosted, of course. Or how about for today? California Love. LA Dodgers to win. LA Angels to win. We've got Dex selects the Golden State Valkyries to win. Also, the Dallas Wings to win. Or how about Welcome to Atlanta? Braves minus 1.5. Go check it out. PlayAlberta.ca. Remember, use your game sense. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Mackenzie McLennan here with you from the Sports 1440 studios in West Edmonton Mall. Lots to get to on the show still. We got Spec, Shane Pink down in San Jose. Stretty's going to join us next. We got a few more texts rolling in here. We are going to get those tickets sent out right away. And I will say, like, this is absolutely awesome. So many people wanting to go, and a lot of people, like first-time texters. People are listening. Now they want free stuff. So, yeah, we will be hooking you guys up. Brian said our group was in that situation. We were upper Y, 55-yard line, now lower 15-yard line. Not ideal, but it wasn't giving up my ticket. Shout out to you, Brian. That's it's a sacrifice you got to make, I suppose. And when the crowd gets going, maybe you get back up there. They could tarp it off, put ads up, make a stream revenue. Yeah, like a Sports 1440 banner across the whole thing. That would be not a bad idea. Schwack Hammer says, I loved Upper, great sight lines. Jumbo TV was right there. Yeah, man, I used to just bake in the sun in Upper Section Y. Bring the sunglasses. Good time. Game gets out of hand. Maybe go down to the bar in the south end zone. That's where the cheaper beer was a decade ago. So we used to always make our way down there. But we'll get back to it. As long as the team keeps winning, I know the city will show up. All right, let's get to the round table. In case you haven't heard it before, we hand things over to the producers. Usually it's Declan and myself, but we got Mackenzie sitting in for Deck's covering me. They'll give us a little bit of a topic, a discussion, and we'll debate. So why don't we start things off with Mr. Declan Kruger himself?
Yeah, what I want to bring to the table today, see how you guys feel about this one. I think baseball is the only sport where you can't use championships in the GOAT argument. I think there are certainly some sports where it's weighted much more heavily. I think that one would obviously be basketball because of the individual impact. But baseball, you look at like Barry Bonds never won, Ken Griffey Jr. never won, Mike Trout never won. Like there is just Mike Trout and Shohei were on the same team, by the way, and didn't even make the playoffs. Like there's just so much more that goes into baseball with the pitching rotation, of course, and just like I just think it's the only sport where championships don't factor in as much into the GOAT conversation.
Kenzie, what do you think about that?
We're supposed to debate this, but I kind of agree with Declan.
There's nothing wrong with agreeing with a good take, Mac.
You do make a good point there. Because I feel like it's so hard to win in baseball and absolutely everything has to go right. And like we're seeing it with the Jays right now. Everything went so right up until that game 7 against the Dodgers. And then this year, it's the complete opposite. And that luck is completely gone. So I do agree with Declan. Like,
especially in a non-salary cap sport, right?
Yeah.
Like the playing field already isn't even. And then on top of that, you have the sport with like the most variables. Like, how are you supposed, like, why is it a really good player's fault if his team only spends, $43 million a year for an entire, you know what I mean? So that's it. There's a lot that goes into it, but I think it's the only one where it doesn't factor in.
Yeah. I mean, I guess ask Tony Gwynn, right? Playing for the Pods, didn't get much success. Heck of a player. I do agree, but like I kind of have that thought with a lot of sports. Like if you are just a player who's loyal to your team and your organization sucks and that's held against you, like I get it. It's always kind of the cherry on top for me. Like if we're talking two great players, but then one of them has that championship, whatever the sport is, I'm always going to probably use that as my tiebreaker. Like, okay, but he got a championship, so he has that little bit of the advantage. But I'm with you, Dak.
See, and
I cheer for too many bad teams who never win championships, and I hate how it kills their legacy.
And I totally agree with that, except in baseball. Like if it's Barry Bonds and another guy, I might still be taking Barry Bonds even without the rings. Like in any other sport,
even with the cheating.
Yeah, but like I don't really buy into that. It's like everyone was cheating, and the owners made a bunch of money off it. And Bud Selig is in the Hall of Fame. Like, and
Okay.
It's crazy. It's bad, but I don't know. Like,
really quickly, Shohei Ohtani or Barry Bonds?
I think Shohei is now the best player ever.
Yeah.
Because of what he does.
But if you were
pitching and
to
hitting.
go like their primes, I guess
Well,
Barry Bonds was cheating at that time. So
like if Shohei was just batting, I would take Barry Bonds, but he pitches as well. And he's a very good pitcher. So I can't ignore that. But I think Barry Bonds was the best baseball player of all time until Shohei came around. And then Shohei's obviously got the 2 rings now. No World Series MVPs. He's got to figure that one out. But I still think it's him.
That's a whole other topic.
Oh yeah, and
Barry
also by
Bonds.
the way, he's a gambling addict, so he has his black marks as well.
That's allegedly an accusation by Declan.
Yeah, he did that. Sure.
Allegedly, I just wish Barry didn't take the role. The PEDs helped with his recovery. He was unbelievably such a dynamic baseball player. Did he need to? Like, couldn't he have just rolled with the 37, 35 home runs? Wasn't that good enough? He's hitting 25 when he was with the Pirates. He was still stealing bases. Probably could have been a Hall of Famer without it, but that's a topic for another day. Good one, Deck. All right, Mackenzie, what do you got today?
okay, I did have one, but I think Declan kind of is repurposing it for 5 questions.
Totally different. You're good to go.
Okay. Let's run with it then.
Let's do it.
With Macklin Celebrini signing an extension, do you think that Will Smith gets offer sheeted in the next year?
We'll start with you, Mac. What do you think?
I could see it because, like we saw with Philly and Anaheim, Philly was just like, we're going to put them in a tough spot no matter what. And I think it kind of set like a new precedent where teams have to lock up their guys very quickly. And Will Smith might be one where the Sharks know that he's a part of their future, but they're not ready to pay him. And somebody might just, Philly or maybe Chicago in the next year or two, be like, you know what? We're going to just mess up all of your plans and construe your cap so you can't get anybody else paid. So I could see it.
Dak, what you got here?
Yeah, I don't like. I mean, the question being, could it happen? Yeah, for sure. Did you have a team in mind?
Like, I could see Philly doing it again.
But like, why?
Like, why not?
So, like, is he better than Porter Martone? Yeah, maybe, probably.
Yeah.
Like, will he be down the line? Who knows? But then you still have a problem at center. So it's like now you just have like 2 decent or above decent right wingers, and you still have like Christian Dvorak and Trevor Zegras as your top 2 centers. Like, that's still the bigger problem.
Let me pivot then. I'll pivot to the Blackhawks because they don't really have a winger for Bedard.
Well,
they're working on it.
They're paying Patty Kane $8 million a year. He better be.
Yeah,
a winger
but he
for
can't.
Bedard.
He can't stay
We know why
healthy.
he got
They're paying Bowen.
Yeah.
They're paying Bowen Byram and Connor Bedard like $12.5 million. Like, what's an offer sheet look like dollar wise for Will Smith?
Okay, he would probably be.
If it's 18 mil, it's the 4 first-round pick.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so tempting.
Well,
right?
he's never getting $18 million from
No.
Chicago ever in his life.
But I could.
If
if they're
Will
giving
Smith-
Bowen Byram,
If Will
12,
Smith gets $18 million, I will quit this job.
but if Bowen Byram is getting 12, I would say Will Smith is comparable, if not better.
Well,
so like 14.
But like Bowen Byram addressed much more of a need on that team. Like, if you want to just say in a vacuum, I wouldn't even agree with that to start with. Like, I think we're talking about Bowen Byram like he's hot ass now because of how overpaid he is.
What?
He's hot ass. Like, I don't think he's that bad. I think, is he overpaid? Yeah, of course. I still think in a vacuum he's better than Will Smith. And then I just think, like, money wise, there is no way you can pay Connor Bedard and Bowen Byram $27.5 million combined. And then on top of that, be like, oh, yeah, we're going to give another crazy offer sheet for Will Smith. I just don't think that's not. Yeah, you need good players. But at some point, like, the money has to be a factor as well. We saw Darnell Nurse handcuff this team with his salary. Like, I just think it has to factor in at some point. And that's why I don't think you can give him a huge amount. And anything that isn't crazy, I think San Jose is just matching.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Fair enough.
So
compensation for a 4th-round pick, 4-round picks is essentially 12 million or more. So it could be 12 mil. Maybe that's a little bit more. Here's the thing. I love
you
it.
guys are paying Will Smith $12 million.
No. Well, you are. But here's
I am.
I'm just saying, I love it, Declan, because I love when GMs take advantage of this. I think it's absolutely awesome. When it happened to the Oilers, people were ticked off, obviously. But, you don't take care of your guys when you can. These things could happen. So I love the madness that it creates. So from someone in media who gets to talk about it, I love it. I think it's so good. Like now Daniel Briere's got a target on his back because he did this. And you force the hands for Leo Carlsson. What I will say is I'd be much more happy to pay Leo Carlsson than I would Will Smith. That guy is dynamic. Like I was worried about him a lot in the playoffs. Will Smith, not as big. Didn't have as many goals this past season, so I don't think it would come at that high of a level. But now for the San Jose Sharks, and I just want to make sure here, the Blackhawks have cap space to work with here. I don't know if they would do it, but like, hey, let's say you're Vancouver, Deck, maybe you're Seattle, Detroit, the Calgary Flames. If you can put them in a bad position and offer that contract and potentially get him, and that's a team in your division if you are the Kraken, Flames, or Canucks. Why not, right? Why not play a little chess here? I love it. I love the offer sheet thing in the NHL.
I do too, and I love what you're saying. I didn't love the Vancouver Canucks example because, like, if you're playing chess and all of a sudden you end up with him, like you're like, oh,
yeah, you can't do 18 mil.
Yeah,
you got to find that number that the Sharks like might not be able to match, and then just go for it. Because the Sharks right now, well, we have to worry about next year when that 18 mil kicks in. Right now, their projected cap is 96 million. So they got some time to figure it out, but
I really like the Flames option. That one intrigues me a lot.
That's a good one as well.
Yeah.
I like that. They just need something redeemable. They still have Jerome McGinley posters on their walls, man. Like, they have nothing to cheer about for the down there.
Their GM is still being pumped up as a player.
Josh was wearing a Mika Kiprusoff jersey the other day. I was like, you don't want to update that at all? He's like, I can't. There's nothing else.
There's nobody else. That's funny. News Sarepta Troy says, I like that there's so much talk about Celebrini giving them a bargain deal, but 18, well, he says 0.5. It was 18.8.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's a bargain. I think the deal is going to hurt them to sign a few more players. Anaheim 2.0, News Sarepta Troy. Well, and you just look back at all these players they drafted in the last few years. Yeah, I mean, you want them to pan out. You want to pay them $18.8 million. It's going to be interesting. With the rising cap, you guys think the draft comp on offer sheets will change? It will. Yeah, it will change like annually. The last numbers we have were from March of 2026. So it'll go up. Absolutely. But with the cap going up, I guess it's all kind of relevant. It all stays the same. That was a good one. Good one, guys. I appreciate that. I like sitting in here kind of just hanging out.
Do you have anything for us? Well, it sounds like maybe no if you're like sitting here hanging out, but I was going to say, do you have anything for us?
Well, could I steal the one you had, Mac?
Yeah, go for it.
Mac had a good one. She had seen on social media that there was some steps going forward with the Major League Baseball potentially returning to the city of Vancouver and an owner being selected or an ownership group. I'm not in on that. I mean, like, I love the idea because I would go to a game in Vancouver and watch it for sure. But we've seen the Grizz not work out. We've seen issues with the Canucks and the BC Lions. They'll tell you their city's beautiful. There's a lot to do there. I don't know. Like, I would hope it would work out. I think a lot of Canadians, maybe, I was going to say maybe people in Seattle, they got their own team. But I think people would go out for a while. But I would worry a little bit long term about the whatever the team would be called playing in Seattle. I think for players it'd be a great spot to play, but we've seen it in the association. Some players don't want to play with the Raptors. We saw Stevie Franchise not wanting to go to the Grizz back in the day. So what do you guys think? Do you think baseball would work in Vancouver?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, how do they do in like any other level of baseball? Do they do well? Like, is there a legit market for it? I don't know enough about like that city or that fan base outside of hockey, where they're obviously terrible, to really talk about it. Like, I don't know if they can support a baseball team. I think it's a cool idea. I love more Canadian teams being involved in major leagues. Like, I would love to see Toronto with an NFL team. Selfishly, I've been calling for Edmonton to get an NBA team for years. Don't know how feasible that is, but I would love to see it happen. So I would like to see it, but I just don't. I feel like I can't really speak on it with any real accuracy about if the market can support a team. Like, I just don't know enough about baseball there.
Okay, so they do have, it's the Canadians, and it's a Jays affiliate.
Double A team?
AA.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the AAA is in Buffalo. And as far as I know,
Single
they
A.
do
Single A.
single
Connor
A?
says it's single A. And he looked like he knew what he was talking about.
Okay.
He was shaking
I
his head a
believe you.
lot.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Still
Yeah,
New Hampshire.
obviously. Duh.
Damn, this guy should be hosting.
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead, Mackenzie.
As far as I know, they do fairly decent attendance-wise because it's out in Surrey. Okay. I'm 96% sure it's out in Surrey. And it does okay. But what I have questions with is because the Lions have struggled with attendance. The Whitecaps have also, there's been a lot of talk about them going up for sale. And then also the Canucks are a mess as well. So how can you bring in an MLB team when all of your other franchises are having issues?
Especially if they suck.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a little bit of like the fair weather, and that's not just Vancouver. I think that's just natural in sports, right? Apparently, it is in the city of Vancouver.
Okay.
I will say the city of Vancouver confuses me. I don't know what the actual area is. There's Richmond, Surrey, Coquitlam, North Vancouver, Burnaby. I don't know anything about that city.
Yeah. So I think it would have to be a very, very, very special and on the same page ownership group and management to even consider going there.
It'd be cool though.
It would be very cool.
Doug says, Stan, the Jets fan. The offer sheet system messes with the team's budgets. 100% Stan. I like it as a fan. It's madness. I think it's great. You have to take care of your own, right? Like we saw it burn the Oilers. If Holloway and Broger were locked up earlier, that wouldn't have happened. It's not the way it worked out. It's kind of a fun thing. The GOAT baseball question was made me think soccer is the only sport where the greatest is determined by what you do in your club career and with a national team. Yeah, 100%. Well, I mean, is there a sport in the big sports in a situation like that, Deck, where it's as competitive? Like basketball, with all due respect, we're looking at 3 nations, maybe. Hockey, right now it's 2.
And dude, for a long time, I guess it kind of also was 2, but let's be real, it kind of was Canada.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
in soccer, it's no, there's 5 to 10 plus those guys. A lot of them are playing with their club teams. It is kind of cool.
It's also the world, that is the biggest sporting event in the world, right? Olympic hockey isn't like that. FIBA World Championship basketball isn't like that. World Baseball Classic isn't like that. Soccer is that. It's the biggest event in the world. And like you said, much more parity, generally speaking.
King of Four Nasty says, I can answer that, Deck. Vancouver fans suck. That's their fan base. And Doug says, in my opinion, I don't think Vancouver is a good sports town. Well, what we'll do, we'll talk to a guy who played in Vancouver and get his thoughts on this one. Coming up next, Jason Strudwick will join us. We'll talk some Oilers. We'll ask him about the Canucks, the Elks, and more. It is the Jason Gregor Show. Halley, Kruger, McLennan with you here. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Say hello to Alberta's home for reeling and dealing. With Play Alberta, you can spin into the excitement of popular slots like Cash Eruption and Desert Fantasy. Experience Alberta exclusive games and get in on the action of live dealer tables with all new elevated stakes. However you prefer to play, the fun is ready when you are. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit, no credit? We got you. Text check to 780-777-7777. That's check to 780-all-7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
What a performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicked things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Kickoff is coming August 1st. Elks, Rough Riders at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. The prehistoric party is back, presented by Purolator Tackle Hunger. Experience family-friendly fun all game long with a dinosaur-themed contest. Get your tickets at goelks.com/tickets.
Oodle Noodle origins.
In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudel, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the New World. At Ellis Island, Nudel was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as
Oodle Noodle.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact, because our team is built on second chances, and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 air conditioning install company for lovers, because it's been a while since you kissed her tender lips or felt his warm embrace, because it's too hot for love. But you can rekindle that fire with AC from Legacy, with no payments and no interest for 1 year. Your legacy of love will grow stronger, because with AC from Legacy, it's never too hot for love.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV with an unfortunate reality of buying an RV new. If you finance the whole thing, you'll owe more than your new RV is worth for like a long time.
In the credit world, they call that upside down on your loan.
That's right, Bob. Same with new cars. You lose about a third of the value when it rolls off the lot, which puts you upside down in a big way. And that's a dangerous place to be, because customers want to sell it and pay off the loan, then realize it's not possible. Sometimes people are so angry about that, they give us bad reviews because we can't help them.
Used buyers don't have that problem.
It's why I love used RVs so much, Bob. You pay fair market value for a quality used RV at No Bull, and it's still worth that much when it leaves the lot. Even if you finance the whole thing, in most cases, you're right side up for the whole term, which gives you options and flexibility later.
And that's No Bull. NoBullRV.ca.
If you change your mind, take a chance. Change your life, take a chance.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Your weekend hotspot is OTR. Party with Edmonton's best live bands every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Your bar, your party. Jasper Ave and 118th. OnTheRocksYeg.com.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
On YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, Twitch. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, tonight, the Lotto 649 Gold Ball Jackpot. $38 million up for grabs. Get your ticket at PlayAlberta.ca. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger. We got Connor, the intern, running things here as well. Appreciate you guys joining us on the show today. We are going to do our giveaway for some Elks tickets still to come. All you have to do, text into 1-833-401-1440. Just tell us your favorite player of all time. Email, full name, and we'll pick some winners after the show. So make sure you check out your email because you could win. Right now, we're going to get to the oil report. Brought to you by Go Auto. Go Auto has donated more than $27.2 million to local charities and take pride in supporting the communities where they live and do business. GoAuto.ca. We bring in Jason Strudwick, former NHLer, member of the Oilers, also co-host of Got Your Back. Struddy, good afternoon. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing very good. A beautiful day here in the city. As far as I know, no rain today, which is kind of nice. I think we're all kind of moving on past that one. Did it impact your golf yesterday?
Oh, yeah. We got cut a little short, just a couple holes short. And I was playing well. So you're kind of in that scenario from Caddyshack. Like, do we keep going? And I don't want to make it sound like I was going to break the course record. But for me, I was having a pretty good round. So Unfortunately, after we walked off, I took a bogey on the last 3 holes. So I felt I could have done better than that, but my buddies I play with are pretty strict, so that's what it was.
Oh, you're finding your game, it sounds like.
Trying, but I don't know. I've got still no hole in one, so I'm grinding here, Connor. I'm grinding.
Eventually, it'll come. Well, and you can dunk a basketball, so you don't even need the hole.
Exactly. Yeah.
Struddy, we were talking a little bit beforehand, just some news breaking that the city of Vancouver had selected the Show Vancouver to spearhead the Major League Baseball expansion bid. It's a group led by Cape Group, BRS Sports, and CA Icon, and architectural firms Populous and Gensler. I don't know anything about these groups, but it kind of led us to a discussion about Vancouver as a sports town. And we know, in the past, the Grizz were there, and unfortunately it didn't work out. The BC Lions have had attendance issues until the new owner. I wanted to ask you, because you played and lived in the city, do you think Vancouver could support a Major League Baseball team?
Well, it's a great city. I mean, I think that, for people who haven't been there, it's a fantastic community and lots to do there outside, lots of things. The weather, although it rains quite a bit, it doesn't snow. So it's a pretty good spot. I think that, Canadian players or players that play there in sports, I think they probably like it, right? It's a pretty good spot. I was shocked when I heard that about the Major League Baseball team going there. I don't think it'll ever happen. Just being completely honest, I don't know if people are going to egg my house for that one. I just don't think that there's real appetite there for more professional sports. They support their Canucks pretty well. More so when they're doing well. I think they look at BC, the Lions. It has improved a lot, but they don't really have much else other than that as far as high level professional sports. I know there's other professional sports there, so I would like my hair to grow back naturally. Just like they would like to get a professional team of baseball there, Major League. I think it's unlikely. I really do.
I think I'm with you. And I mean, on top of that, there does seem to be more of an issue attracting American players to go play in Canada. We're kind of seeing it in the NHL with some of the bigger names demanding trades, forcing their way out. We've heard about it for a long time with the Raptors and, in Vancouver, Steve Francis didn't want to play there. So I'm with you. I do think it will be very tough. Selfishly, I'd love to see it. I'd love to be able to make that quick flight to Vancouver. But they also have that team in Seattle. And we know, guys like Farhan Lalji from Vancouver have been longtime supporters of the Mariners. So I think I'm with you. I'd like to see it come, but I'm not really going to hold my breath when it comes to this one. Let's turn our attention to the NHL. This is the Oil Report. So there's been a name who's been a little popular on our station the last few days, and that would be Isaac Howard, who, I thought when you look at his season, first year in pro hockey, there were some good signs. He went down to the Condors, had some success there. This year, there's opportunity in that top 6 potentially, because to me, I think that's where he has to play. What do you think the outlook looks for the Iceman this year?
Well, they need him to come through. And it doesn't mean he has to be a 50-goal scorer this year, but he's got to take another step forward, and they need him to play for this team. I mean, they made a pretty big trade to get him, and the player they traded him for seems to be on a trajectory of having some success, if not right away in Tampa pretty soon. So I think that's important. They need him to come through. But they also need youngish talent that's cheap, right? That's really, every team needs that. And he's a guy that, his reputation is that of a goal scorer. He's a confident guy. I think that for Isaac Howard, it was development. I think we forget these guys aren't finished products. It takes time. Think of when Leon came here. I think about when he played Kopitar that first time, and he talked about after how Kopitar just schooled him. That's lessons learned, right? Unfortunately for Isaac Howard, there's not that much time. Like, they need him to come on board pretty quick. But I think we can look no further than Matt Savoy in the year he had last year. Kind of finding his way till Christmas. Till the Olympic break, and then after Olympic break, he was really good. He took a step forward. So I think for Howard, I don't expect that to happen right away, but make the team. Try to get in the regular game. The problem for him is he doesn't kill penalties. I don't think he's getting on the power play. Although if they have two units like Mike Babcock's talk about, maybe that happens. But they need this guy to come through. So I'm to me, he's the player to watch in the first 40 games. I can't wait to see. We know what Dickinson and Murphy, even Shea, the D-man. I think it's Isaac Howard in the 3 goaltender situation. That to me is must watch hockey for Oilers fans.
Jason Strudwick joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in. So, and I'm sure this would change player to player. If you had to say an approximate amount of games before it starts to slow down a little bit for you and things kind of, you see things easier on the ice, is there a number that comes to mind for you?
I'd say at least one time through, so 40 games, maybe. I know that's not every team. I get that, but kind of one time, like just even something about going to a rink or a city you've never been to, right? It's different. Hey, I remember so many times as a young guy, where's the dressing room? Where do we go out to the rink? All those types of things. So, it seems small, but it does make a difference, right? So I think one time through the league, and Mike, does Babcock, was to give him a spot right away in the top 6. I don't know that'd probably be the best, but maybe give him an opportunity there. Is he a third line player? I don't think he's a fourth line player. So if he's going to be here, he's probably got to play somewhere in that top 9. Do you put him beside Dickinson? And then you got to find another offensive player on the other side because he's a shooter and he needs to get the puck in place. He can shoot the puck. So, watching him will be fascinating. And just be patient, people. We're very quick, and not just this community, but every league or every city in the league that it's he's not coming through, he's done. Well, give the guy a little bit of time, let him breathe, and we'll see where he looks like. Like I'm really looking forward to after, Christmas, kind of December, January. What does he look like then?
I'm really looking forward to seeing Trent Frederick under Mike Babcock and seeing what he does, to change his game. Obviously, we know the contract, and he's been under a lot of scrutiny for his first year and a little bit with the Edmonton Oilers. Is there anyone you think, from what you've heard about Mike Babcock, that you think could take big steps under his tutelage?
Yeah, Trent Frederick's a big one. I think that his heads must be spinning. The last little while has been pretty crazy for him, 18 months. So I think that a full summer of training, a new coach, and I'm sure there's been a conversation between him and Babcock, or if not, there will be one before training camp, what his expectation and roles will be. He talked a lot about roles, Babcock did. So I think it'll be clear what his role is, and then can he deliver it? And now the salary cap so high, $4 million isn't actually that ugly. It's gonna, that percentage is gonna keep going down. Another guy that can take a step forward, I'm looking for Evan Bouchard, right? How does Mike Babcock challenge him? I had him in my Norris Trophy outlook, definitely for the offensive side. Now, defensively, can he get rid of some of those massive errors that he's guilty of sometimes? And I've talked about it before. One error out of 10, if it's a massive one, is better than 3 errors out of 10, right? So you're still ahead, but just those massive ones, can you clean up that and become a real a more full-time responsible player? And because those ones that he makes are those are Jason Strudwick mistakes. Those aren't Evan Bouchard mistakes. So that's a guy, I think, see how he gets challenged by this coaching staff. And then, further down the lineup, maybe take a look at a guy like Ty Emerson and where does his role fit in? Like, what does he get to do? Does he get to play every day? Because there's a bit of a dogfight there in that, 6, 7, 8 spot. And Emerson had a good year last year, but can he keep that going? Will he be given the opportunity to be an everyday player? So those are the kind of guys I'm looking at. And I guess Tristan Jarry, Tristan, man, he needs a good summer of, health, getting in shape, and coming in, because it's a fresh start. Everyone's getting a fresh start with a new coach, whether you believe it or not. I truly think that a fresh start with every time you're even the same organization, new coach, and he can write his story here, right? And really challenge Levi and Frederick Anderson for ice time.
Jason Strudwick, former NHLer, co-host of Got Your Back, joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in and talking about new coaches and new starts for the Edmonton Elks. I don't know if anyone would have seen this coming in year 2 under Mark Killam. Improvement for sure, but to be sitting atop the Western Conference where we are in the season, it's been an incredible run for the team. I just want to get your thoughts about that game. I know you come from a long line of Rough Rider fans. That game on Thursday, it was emotionally fueled for sure, but for the Elks to find a way to get a win at the end of that game and doing so, with special teams hitting a 57-yarder, is pretty incredible. Are you surprised, and how surprised, I should say, are you by the start for the team?
Yeah, that's probably one of the best CFL games I've ever watched. That was an incredible game. And yeah, I do cheer for the Elks, but the Rough Riders are my number 1 team. I'll be completely honest. But it was such a good game. It was just fun to watch, see how it went. And both teams kind of made mistakes. When Fajardo chucked that ball over, I was like, oh my God, like, what is this guy doing? I thought that's it for the Elks, and the Rough Riders going to get it. Well, didn't work out that way, but that is that CFL game at its best. But I give a lot of credit. I'm actually going to start the top with Morris and Ed Hervey. You and I have worked with Ed Hervey a little bit in the media when he'd come in and speak to us and Gregor. And man, I learned more in football than those 1-hour sessions that I did my whole life before that. And you could tell that he and Chris Morris have a plan. This is how we do things. This is how we operate. And you can see it on the team. I mean, to be with the record they have now compared to last year, and quite frankly, a number of years going back, maybe since Ed was actually here before, they've really kind of got this thing straightened out. And I think at the beginning when they started, you're probably, as a player, like, okay, well, we have a pretty good record here. But now you're this far in the year, you start to believe that you are the best team in the league. And I think that's a really good space to get into. Now they're going to be challenged constantly by Killam and company to keep pushing. But, Connor, it's a pretty special thing we're seeing here. And I know there's a huge push from all the alumni and then the team to attend that game Saturday night. I think it would look good on Edmonton if we had 30K there.
I think it's going to happen, Struddy. We are doing a little bit of a giveaway here, and we have so many texts coming in here. And I, openly say we've done this in the last, 4 or 5 years. It wasn't like that. People weren't really excited about the team. And now, especially with the Rough Riders coming into town, we know it's going to be a good crowd, probably raucous. I think, the worm has turned and, people want to go watch this team. So, yeah, it's going to be an exciting one on Saturday. Let's just stick with football here. We had a text coming from a loyal listener, MTR, says, hey, Struddy, can the Giants get to 7 wins this year?
Yeah, I think they're heading in the right direction. I saw a little bit of video of Dart and Neighbors connecting, second year for him. And, obviously staying healthy for him is a pretty big deal just because he plays so aggressive. If you've never seen him play, it's a little bit like Mike Riley. He loved that he challenges people physically, but the problem is that, you love that about him, but also kind of takes them out of action. So I think that's a big thing. I think the Lions are looking pretty good, even though he moved out Dexter Lawrence. I think they can get to 7 wins. Are they a playoff team? I don't know. I mean, what does some of those other guys look like in their division? Can Dak Prescott have another unreal year? I don't know. I don't hate the Cowboys, but I just, I kind of doubt them. And I don't think there's really anything wrong with that. They're kind of like the Toronto Maple Leafs of the NFL. So I think we can get to 7 to, can we get 8, 9 wins? Maybe. But there's still some work to do, but it feels pretty clear they're trying to get something accomplished here. And similar to that Hervey, like if you're not a part of the solution, you're out. And Harbaugh and company aren't going to mess around.
Yeah, I saw some footage from Malik Neighbors looking like he's going to be good to go for week 1 against the Cowboys. But yeah, I guess you never want to get too comfortable in the preseason because there are so many injuries. We saw Shamar Stewart get taken off. Looks like there is going to be another one here with, who was it? Chris Brazel for the Carolina Panthers, who already lost an edge rusher earlier on in camp. Different sports, I know, but as a former professional athlete, like how tough is it to walk that line in training camp where you're like, don't want to get hurt, but I still got to show what I can do and, get yourself ready for the season. Just how tough is that? And what kind of approach did you take when you were playing?
Yeah, you know what? I just didn't want to get hurt in training camp at all. Like that, I was not scared of it, but I'm like, I just want to see all the work I put in and all preparation, be ready and hit the ground running in September, October, whatever. And then even if it's like game 10, I'd get injured. I'm like, okay, well, at least I have some games behind me because trying to jump on the train that maybe you're 40, 50 games in, it can be tricky, especially as a younger player. So I didn't want to get hurt at any time, but especially not in training camp. Now, if you do, and I know guys, you'd see it tweak a hamstring or something. That's one thing. You can kind of figure that out, or a groin. But if it's something more significant, especially if it's like a knee injury, now, you're way behind because you're not able to train and practice and all those things. You're trying to catch up. So, I wasn't the most elite of players. So it wasn't like I had a lot of cushion room to get away with it. But those injuries in training camp, I wish no one would get injured in training camp because I think it does challenge you to really kind of get yourself up and running on time.
Yeah. I mean, it was something we said, like, it's going to happen. You just, Brian Breesy, another one, the Saints defensive lineman done for the year with the torn ACL. Like, it's going to happen. It's inevitable. It sucks. So it's tough. And hopefully it's minimized as much as possible. Struddy, thanks for doing this today. Appreciate it as always. And we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah. Sounding looking good, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a good one. There you go. Jason Strudwick, former NHLer, co-host of the Got Your Back podcast, joins us every Wednesday. I think we might go back to Tuesday in the hockey season, but every week here on the Jason Gregor Show. We're going to take a break here. When we come back, 5 questions with Declan Kruger. It is the Gregor Show, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Your weekend hotspot is at On the Rocks.
Party with Edmonton's best bands every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And we got them all.
From the Varkels to Tallboy, Radioactive, Curves, the Brute Squad, Morningwood, Roxilla, Punch Buggy, and more.
Plus, the guy who keeps the party going every weekend. DJ Kenny K on the ones and twos, live.
Get ready to have a good time this weekend.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Jeff Brab and 118th.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier specialty charter companies. With our luxury motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation services. Our seatbelt equipped, top-of-the-line motor coaches have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel needs across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. For just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
Are you a skilled laborer? All Star Construction wants to talk to you. A heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience? All Star Construction wants to talk to you, too. With work in and around Edmonton for local land developers, All Star Construction offers year-round employment. Whether it's power, gas, or telecom, developers rely on All Star Construction to get the job done. So if you're a skilled laborer or a heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience searching for work, search All Star Construction on Indeed.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Car shopping sucks. That's right. Going back and forth 100 times just to get a price. Give me your credit card for a test drive. What's all these extra fees? That sounds ridiculous. At Northgate, we do things a little differently. Good deals on new, pre-owned vehicles, good people, and a great selection. Stop in and see us today. 13215 97th Street or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
The Bricks 55th Birthday Bash continues with big savings store-wide. Save on furniture, mattresses, appliances, and electronics. Plus, take 55 months to pay with 0% interest on furniture and mattresses. Or 36 months on appliances and electronics on approved credit. Find up to 30% off bedroom packages, up to 40% off select mattresses. And don't forget, you could be one of 275 winners with over $155,000 in prizes to be won. Hurry in. The Birthday Bash ends July 29 at The Brick. Saving you more.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 air conditioning install company for lovers because it's been a while since you kissed her tender lips or felt his warm embrace because it's too hot for love. But you can rekindle that fire with AC from Legacy with no payments and no interest for 1 year. Your legacy of love will grow stronger because with AC from Legacy, it's never too hot for love. Noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, oodle, noodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 oodle, noodle, nood, oodle, nood, noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, oodle, noodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 oodle, noodle, nood. Throw the load down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
The Bricks 55th Birthday Bash continues with big savings store-wide. Save on furniture, mattresses, appliances, and electronics. Plus, take 55 months to pay with 0% interest on furniture and mattresses. Or 36 months on appliances and electronics on approved credit. Find up to 30% off bedroom packages, up to 40% off select mattresses. And don't forget, you could be one of 275 winners with over $155,000 in prizes to be won. Hurry in. The birthday bash ends July 29th at the Brick, saving you more.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass. Your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides beautiful products and incredible customer services for all your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$450, welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Go check them out. Head over to Sports. Check out the Jason Gregor Show specials. Some fun ones for you tonight, courtesy of Declan Kruger and myself. Remember, always use your game sense. Right now, let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. The Brick's 55th birthday bash final day is today. Big savings store-wide. Enter for your chance to win over $155,000 in prizes, including gas cards, TVs, and mattresses. In-store only, The Brick, saving you more.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
Okay, question number 1 today on the lowdown. We went over our top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Josh had Joe Burrow, number 1, which I think is crazy. Where would you have him?
Healthy Joe Burrow?
No.
Top 5 for sure. I'm very high on Joe Burrow. When he's out there, he's incredible. And I don't think you're saying he's not. I don't think you're saying he's bad. I think you just taken aback by him being number 1. Josh also today on 3 rounds during the frenzy asked us about he versus Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. And I took some flack, but I said start Joe Burrow because when he's out there, I mean, he's incredible. And yes, there is some benefits to having Jamar and T. Higgins out there with him, but I'm just such a big fan of him. So, you have to factor, I think, health into this question. I might have him too. I might have him below Josh Allen.
You think he's better than Lamar Jackson?
Right now, after last year? Well, he didn't play much, did he?
He never plays that much.
And we're oh man, you have to factor health into this one. And I just feel like the Ravens also are like the opposite of the Bengals, where they don't, they give him aging receivers and don't draft him like the stud. That happens when you're good. The player's not there. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to stand by it. I'm going number 2. A healthy Joe Burrow, to me, I think is that good. He took his team to a Super Bowl. He could have been MVP if he had a defense. He almost single-handedly dragged that team 2 years ago into the playoffs. His numbers were incredible. I do think he's that good. Where do you have him?
I had him number 4, and I actually had Justin Herbert number 3. And I'm not just saying this now because you're obviously a Justin Herbert fan, but I do, having said that then and thinking about it now, I don't know if I would take Justin Herbert over Joe Burrow. So I guess I have Joe Burrow 3. And it's not like that's that much crazier than you having him number 2. But I can't imagine taking him over Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, which you guys seem comfortable to do. So credit to you. But I can't get there with Joe Burrow.
That's fair. I mean, I love all those guys. I would take them on my team any day of the week. If you were asking me strictly arm talent, I'd have Justin Herbert very high because I've seen the throws he can make, but there are the knocks on his game, and I mean, geez, they just got to stay healthy. I'm buying the hype already, though, Deck. I'm fired up to get him as my quarterback in fantasy, and if I was making an MVP bet, he might be my guy.
Question number 2. What will Macklin Celebrini accomplish over the term of his new contract?
Ooh. As a team, I don't think there's going to be much. I still think they 6 years from now, he'll get to the playoffs a couple times for sure. They're definitely going to win a couple of rounds. And I believe that they'll build this team up. As for individual trophies, that's where the question is. He put himself in the conversation for the Hart this year, and I think that'll continue. The team will be better once they get into the playoffs. I will say he will win a Hart trophy. He's not going to win a Lady Bing because he had those 44 PIMs. And I'll give him a Ted Lindsay as well. I think he's going to have some individual hardware by the time this contract is over. So he'll win MVP and, well, the players judged to be the best player as well.
Yeah, I'm honestly like right there with you. I think he gets 1 Hart. I think he gets 2 Ted Lindsays. And I think an Art Ross. Like his Hart winning season, I think it'll be because he does get an Art Ross. And 1 semi-deep playoff run. But that's maybe more wishful thinking.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going in on the Rocket. But you know what? I also want him to win a King Clancy as the best leadership on and off the ice. Seems like a good guy.
He seems like a cool guy. If I had to give a 20-year-old $94 million, I'm glad it was him. Question number 4. Would you rather the Chargers...
4?
Question number 3. Oh, whoopsies. It's tough to miscount 5. Guess I just did it. Question number 3. Give me your top 4 college football teams for this season as it stands today.
This one, I should probably let you go first, and then I'll try to pick
No, you just go. No one's going to know. Just go for it.
And this is where we are going to talk some college football while I'm hosting. I would love to, and one of the questions I eventually do want to ask, like when we do talk about this, what happens to Indiana with the loss of Fernando Mendoza? Let's say Ohio State. Give me Arch Manning, Oregon. Hurricanes lost quite a few good players. Just to bug you, I'm taking the Tide. Roll Tide, baby.
Yeah, you were doing so well. You were killing it up until that last one. Question number 4.
Whoa. Come on, Dak. You're the genius. Tell us, who do you have?
Well, I certainly wouldn't say that. Just a passionate dude. I have the same first 3 as you. I think Ohio State, Texas, and Oregon are in there. And I think Notre Dame, as it stands, is a top 4 team. Yeah. Question number 4. So this is a hypothetical for you. Would you rather guarantee the Chargers make the Super Bowl next year? Like guarantee they're in the game. Now, whether they win that or lose that, that's up to Harbaugh and Herbert and the rest of the boys. But they are guaranteed to be in the Super Bowl come this February. But Justin Herbert retires after that. Or would you rather not have that guaranteed Super Bowl appearance, but Justin Herbert doesn't retire?
Not guaranteed. Justin Herbert does not retire.
Okay.
I think I've seen too many teams around the NFL struggle to find that franchise quarterback. Well, the Chargers have been very fortunate. They went from Drew Brees for a couple of years, and he got better, but wasn't the guy. Then they went to Phillip Rivers, on to Justin Herbert. They've been very fortunate. It's so crucial to your success. So I will take the non-guaranteed Super Bowl. Now, if is it a win, then we're talking. But no. What about you with Josh Allen?
Wow. I didn't think this would get thrown back to me.
They're all going to get thrown back to you, young man.
No, I would do the same as you. I would not be in the Super Bowl next year. Trust we're going to get there and Josh Allen's going to get it done. I'd be tempted to go the other route because we've seen some playoff shortcomings that, are well documented from my end as a Bills fan, but I still think I would put belief in him and Joe Brady. I guess I'm putting my faith in now as well to get it done. So I'll say no as well.
I would say, like, for you as a long-standing Buffalo Bills fan, do you want to go back to Tyrod and Kyle Orton?
Dude.
Fitzpatrick, Manuel, Trent Edwards, JP Lossman.
Dude, I watched Nathan Peterman start real meaningful football games. Well, they weren't meaningful, but they were real football games for my team. Like,
it was awesome.
It was great, man.
5 picks in the first half against the Chargers. I loved it.
He spiked the ball every play. He'd have a higher QBR, one of my favorite stats. Question number 5. Will Smith came up earlier today. Mackenzie brought him up with the offer sheet possibilities. Will he ever be a 100-point player?
So my first thought was no, but then I'm trying to put a little more into it. And I don't mean this as a slight, but like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins got to 100 points. And that, benefiting on playing on a very good power play, kind of playing with Connor McDavid, he got there. Will Smith, in only his second pro season, in only 69 games, 59 points. So I'm going to say, yeah, I don't think he's going to be McDavid or Draisaitl or, perennial 100-point players. But I will say once in his career, I think he can get there maybe on the back of a good power play and the greatness of Macklin Celebrini. How about you?
The Ryan Nugent Hopkins comp is interesting because I actually think do you think Will Smith's like a better player, like in a vacuum than I would say probably, even though the 200-foot game isn't there. Offensively, at least, I would feel like I take what Will Smith might be. Then you obviously make the point that Ryan Nugent Hopkins did in fact do it, which is a very good point. I don't see it. I think point per game player is probably where he'll cap out about. Good goal scorer obviously benefits a ton playing with Macklin. I just think 100 points is a really tough threshold. There have been some really good players who never had 100 points. If I had to bet yes or no, I would say no.
You know what? And that was my first thought. And then I kind of just trying to talk myself into it. Like, could it get done? It would have to be one of those seasons where everything goes right. You got to stay healthy. He had 71 points, in college hockey 1 year. I mean, that's pretty good, but take it for what it is. Not a massive point producer in his first season, but jumped up 15 in 5 less games. So, yeah, I'm going to say, and optimistically here, that I think he can find a way to get it done. Great stuff, Deck. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show with Halley, Kruger, and intern Connor. We're going to get to Speck and also Shang Peng. We'll talk about Will Smith and the rest of those San Jose Sharks, but right now I'll get to a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Employee pricing is on now. You pay what they pay. Get a great deal at Northgate for this month only. Shop now at northgategm.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Scores from around the major leagues of baseball. Currently, Rays leading the Rangers 3-0 into the top of the second. Finals from earlier today saw the Marlins beat the Phillies 8-6. Diamondbacks over the Pirates 3-0. Blue Jays with their 50th win of the season 5-2 over the Nats. Mets beating the Braves 3-2 in game 1 of their doubleheader. The Orioles over the Tigers in extra, and the Giants crushing the Brewers 16-3. Late game tonight in the MLB, we'll see the Mariners and Dodgers at 8:10, and the Edmonton Riverhawks will also be in action today at 7:35 out in Kelowna for the first pitch. News around at the sporting world: Macklin Celebrini, of course, signing a 5-year, $94 million extension, a record $18.8 million AAV, as just discussed on the Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. Ex-Toronto Blue Jays All-Star Alex Manoah released by the Los Angeles Angels, and the NBA's probe into the Clippers and Kawhi Leonard could go into 2027 per reports. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
At Papa John's, we know it's not just a pizza. It's a family gathering. Happy birthday, a special celebration, or just a sigh of relief at the end of a busy day. For a limited time, get large one-topping pizzas for only $14.99 each on original, thin, or New York-style crust. Use promo code L1499 at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app. Get yours today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
So you're dying from the heat, sweat dripping on your sheets. You want to cool it down, but your AC can't compete. So you fall upon your knees and cry out, oh please, I need a cooling breeze. Send me Legacy's AC Repairman. Legacy's AC Repairman.
AC Repairman.
Can't spell Legacy without AC. Legacy Heating and Cooling's got a guy who's really good at fixing broken ACs. So if you got one, call Legacy. Okay, see you later. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The Brick's 55th birthday bash continues with big savings store-wide. Save on furniture, mattresses, appliances, and electronics. Plus, take 55 months to pay with 0% interest on furniture and mattresses, or 36 months on appliances and electronics on approved credit. Find up to 30% off bedroom packages, up to 40% off select mattresses, and don't forget, you could be one of 275 winners with over $155,000 in prizes to be won. Hurry in, the birthday bash ends July 29th at the Brick, saving you more.
This summer, cheer on your favorite teams at Sully's Sports Bar and Lounge. Never a bad seat in the house with tons of big screens. Plus, Sully's Big League menu has it all. Small bites and big bites, game day food and drink features, something for everyone. From the gridiron to the diamond, this is the place to catch all the action all summer long. Sully's Sports Bar and Lounge at all 3 Century Casino locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Every day is game day at Century Casino.
Hi, Edmonton. With summer adventures calling, there's no better way to answer than from behind the wheel of your Subaru WRX. The WRX delivers turbocharged performance, confidence-inspiring Subaru all-wheel drive, and the kind of driving excitement that makes you look for excuses to hit the road. Summer won't last forever, but the memories will. So make sure you give yourself something to remember. Visit your local Subaru dealer today and test drive the WRX yourself. Welcome to Uncommon.
Anderson on the move.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Big jobs, tight spaces, serious reliability. Emerald Equipment is now your local Yanmar dealer. Compact track loaders, mini excavators, wheel loaders, tough, reliable machines built for any job. JapaMachinery.com.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. We're also streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight's Lotto 649 Gold Ball Jackpot, $38 million. Also tomorrow, you got the Grand a day, and then Friday, the Lotto Max, $15 million. Check it out, PlayAlberta.ca. Remember, of course, to use your game sense. Connor Halley, Duncan Kruger, and intern Connor with you here. Sports 1440. Studio text lines 1-833-401-1440. If you'd like to get in on the chat, lots of stuff going on here on the text line. We'll get into that later on in the show. And of course, we've got some tickets up for grabs for Saturday's Elks Rough Riders game. All you have to do is text in 1-833-401-1440. Let us know who is your favorite member of the Elks or Eskimos of all time. Include your email and full name, and you'll have a chance to win. Right now, let's get to the spec report brought to you by GS Construction. GS Construction, they're hiring operators, pipe layers, and top men. Work for a fantastic company that loves to promote from within with great benefits. They're huge sports fans as well. Apply at gsconstruction.ca and search careers, as we are joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet. Spec, good afternoon. How's it going today?
Favorite elk or Eskimo of all time? That's what we're doing today?
Who you got?
Oh, I think I need to represent my age group when I pick my player.
Yeah.
So I would say that my favorite Eskimo of all time would probably be number 13 strong side cornerback Larry Highball.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
Good answer, because I don't think we got many of those.
Oh, yeah. He was great, man. He was Gizmo before Gizmo was Gizmo. He wasn't quite as good at returning, although he was elite in the league at it. He was one of the very best, Highball. But what he was the elite cornerback in the CFL. Like, they just didn't throw to his side at all. And then people, again, older people will remember, then the Eskimos brought in another cornerback named Joe Holloman, who was almost as good. And now you didn't know where the hell to throw it, because both guys, they had the two best corners maybe in the league at the time. And the Highball he was killer. Here's the best Larry Highball story, Connor. He used to, in the winter, he lived in Edmonton. He owned a little running shoe store in Meadowlark Mall, right? Back when all the Eskimos lived here. And he would come to your junior high, okay? And he'd play your junior high volleyball team all by himself. Him against 6 kids, and he would win. He beat 6 kids in volleyball pretty much every time.
Did you guys play him?
I don't think I ever played him, but I was watching him. I was at Parkview Junior High. I wasn't on the volleyball team, so I didn't play him. But I remember at lunchtime going in there and watching Highball give our volleyball team a lesson. Yeah.
So you're a Parkview Panther.
Yes. We weren't even the Panthers back then, but I did go to Parkview. Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Well, we have that in common. I also went to Parkview back in the day. Yeah. Early 2000s. They were the Panthers. Like you, I did not play in the volleyball team either, though. So, we have that in common as well. Yeah. The hops weren't really there and the height neither. So I wasn't big into the volleyball. But okay. Well, let me expand that. Let's go top three. Eskimos, Elks. Who would round out your top three?
Well, Gizmo's got to be in there. Gizmo was the most exciting Eskimo elk ever to handle a football. Like every single punt and kickoff in every single game, you sat there and you said, you know what, he could take this back. Like this could go the other way. He wasn't. They always said they were going to make him a receiver, Connor, and I guess he ran a lousy route or something. But he never stuck. He'd play one game and then that would be it. So for sure, Gizmo, he was unbelievable. And then, I mean, I guess you got to defer and say Warren Moon, don't you? Like how many CFL and NFL Hall of Fame players have the Eskimos had? Watching Warren Moon play when he came up here from Washington, and remember, for the folks that wouldn't know this, Warren Moon comes to the Edmonton Eskimos because the NFL didn't want a black quarterback, right?
Yeah.
That's why he came. The NFL didn't want a black quarterback. For whatever reason, they said, no, only white guys can be quarterbacks. So he comes out of Washington. He's 6'3". He can throw on the run going either way. He's a total stud. He's really, really smart. And he comes up here and just crushes it. And then goes down there and makes the Hall of Fame. So here's a pretty clean kill for Warren Moon. But you know what? American racism blessed us with number one at quarterback. And this guy was just too good for the rest of the league, man.
He and Tom Wilkinson sharing duties as well, right? Like that to me seems like in 2026, a quarterback would not want to do that. Not only because it's just not happening, but ego gets in the way.
Yeah, that's true too. And when Warren showed up, Wilkie was the quarterback. Wilkinson was like Fajardo. He wasn't very big. He wasn't very fast. He didn't have a great arm. But man, he just got the job done, right? I've been comparing Fajardo to Wilkie all year here. And so he's taught Warren Moon a ton about being a quarterback and what you do and how you think and calling the play and making a read and all that stuff. And then eventually Warren took the job over because his physical skills and stature were so superior. Like he was just an unbelievable stud. But you know what? He'd struggle. Like there was the one Grey Cup, right, where at half they were down like 22-1 or something to Ottawa. And Wilkie started the third quarter, right? He put a few drives together and he put a couple points on the board and settled things down. And before you know it, Dave Cutler's kicking a field goal last play of the game to win that Grey Cup. That if Wilkie wasn't around, Moon wasn't going to win it for you.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty incredible to see. I'm looking up Warren Moon's stats here in the CFL as well. Like throwing for way over 5,000 yards, 5,600 to 36 touchdowns, and doing a little bit on the ground as well. His final year with the Green and Gold, running for 500 yards, like damn good season.
I mean, he didn't have to run.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was the issue. The Eskimos were so good, Connor. Like they had the best defense in the league and the best offense in the league. The best return game in the league, and as good a kicker as there was at the time. I mean, Dave Cutler was as good as you needed. There might have been another Lupa Seglia and those guys around, but they just had the best of everything. They were so good that Moon didn't, why am I running? We'll just get a first down next play.
Yeah.
He had two unbelievable slot backs at all times, Brian Kelly and Tommy Scott, and Brian Fryer. He always had like Waddell Smith or some killer long deep threat. They were just so good. Like, why? If I'm Warren Moon, I am not running either, pal.
I take those hits, right? Mark Spector joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in, and hey, this 2026 edition of the Edmonton Elks, pretty damn good so far this season. We get the rematch here, and Spec, like we're doing this contest giveaway, and I've said it 3-4 years ago. We'd give tickets away. You might get a couple people. I would say we've got like north of 75 texts that have come in. People wanting to get out to this game, the rematch against the Rough Riders. It's going to be awesome. The Elks 6-1. It's a 5:00 start on a Saturday. To me, you cannot beat that. There's a lot of people you can give credit to, but when you look at this turnaround for this team on and off the field, the entire organization, who comes to mind first for you?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I don't think I have an answer. Like if Ed Hervey doesn't get the right players, it doesn't matter because you need good players. If Chris Morris doesn't settle down the front office and hire some really smart people and a good GM and an excellent coach, the rest of it probably doesn't matter. If the players you bring in don't deliver, 1 week it's Rankin, 1 week it's Luther, 1 week Javon Leake starts playing, gives you a really good effort. 1 week your kicker hits one from 57. Like, in the end, the players win the games. So, I tend to default, Connor, to crediting the players because they're the ones on the field busting their brains in to win football games. But somebody collected all these players and somebody put together a team here and a coaching staff and all that gives these players a chance to be as good as they've been. So it's, you know what? It was a team effort when they stunk for all those years. I think we got to say she's a team effort now that they're a good team too, isn't it?
I would agree. The Thompson family as well deserves a lot of credit. And
right.
They,
smart ownership,
stabilizing.
Hire smart people, stay out of their way, right?
Yeah.
Connor, absolutely. I forgot that.
Yeah, and I loved what Chris Morris said. We had him on the show when he was first hired and talked about kind of building it up and not changes, keeping the same people here. And I look at JC Sherritt. I don't think anybody epitomizes it as much as he does with what he's done with that defense. And just, last year there was times where, it looked like there were some flaws, but this year he's gotten better as a play caller. He's found his game. He knows football. He's put his staff together, and it's been really nice to see. So, yeah, I think a lot of people in this organization deserving a lot of credit, and they deserve it. I get a chance to work with a lot of those people at the watch parties, and they've been through this with the thick and thin, and now they're back, and it's finally paying off. So it's really encouraging to see. Should be a great game on Saturday. Spec, I got to ask you this question as well, because it was brought up earlier on today by Mackenzie, and there was some news out of Vancouver that the Major League Baseball, there's an organization per Ben Nicholson-Smith, they found their potential owner of an MLB franchise for a bid to make a team. And we talked about it with Struddy, who played with the Canucks in Vancouver. Struddy shared his thoughts on if it could work. We're skeptical. Do you think the city of Vancouver could support a Major League Baseball team in the future?
Well, I don't know. Like, Vancouver's such a slow-moving town. Like, first of all, they got to build a stadium. But before that, they got to find a place that they'll allow the stadium to go. But before that, they have to have a decade of meetings and discussions and focus groups. And, if they ever get through in Vancouver, like, it's a slow moving town when it comes to things like that. Could they support it? Yeah, it's a big city. It's got a long baseball tradition, for sure. I think that Vancouver would be an awesome place for a baseball team, but from here to there is so many politicians have to get involved with this thing, and that's what scares me about it.
I'm with you. Yeah, it seems like this is something that is so far down the road. Like, cool, get work the groundwork. We'll see how it goes. Find a place for a stadium and everything like that. But hey, Canucks fans have told us many times they live in a beautiful city. There's lots to do there, and the way it worked out with the Grizz, I'm a little bit skeptical for the time being. But I'd love to see it happen.
I'm with you. Like, and let's see how the Canucks do in a rebuild here. Let's see if the Canucks, how they do at the gate when we know in October this isn't going to be a very good team. Like, I'm telling you right now, you get a brand new baseball team, it's not good either. And there's 81 home games.
Yeah.
So, and you need like 40,000 people a night to show up. So I guess I'd say to you, if the hockey, our native sport, struggles here in Vancouver, which I suspect it might this year, I'm not so sure that they got it to put together 81 nights of over 30,000 people to support a Major League Baseball team. Do you?
Nope, not at all. Selfishly, I'd love to go out there for a weekend, take in a couple games, but benefit from having the Canadian dollar. But I just don't know how realistic it is right now. Spec, last question before we let you go. What were your thoughts on the Macklin Celebrini contract today with the Sharks?
Oh boy, like, no one's saving any money so they can build a good team around us anymore, huh? Connor McDavid was kind of one and done on that. From an Edmonton standpoint, it shows you, like, to me, I got a lot of respect for McDavid. He could have got the bag, no problem, right? And he did what he did. Didn't even take a raise at 12.5. Now it's over. Like, now if Macklin Celebrini is making 18.8.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's making 18.8, what's Connor McDavid worth? 23? I don't know. What's Draisaitl worth? Like, Celebrini's really good and young, but at this moment, Draisaitl's every bit as good as he is. So anyway, good for the kids. I hope the cap keeps going up, man, because that's a lot of money for one player. That's just traditionally we got to get our head around, Connor, looking at contracts differently in hockey, right? Like a third pairing defenseman making $4.5 million now. That's probably not that big a deal anymore. A third line winger making $5 million, like that's. I think we need to learn to accept that that's okay. So it starts with these young guys. I mean, if your best player is going to get 18.8, oh boy, what's your second best player get? And what's your third best player get, right?
Yeah. Well, Will Smith will be the next one. We'll find out, I suppose, down in San Jose. Spec, thanks for doing this today. Are you still on the golf course?
I am. Just teeing off on 16 at Cougar Creek.
Ooh, how's the round going?
It's going great until you called.
Oh, that's what I do. I ruin people's golf rounds. I have a long tradition of that. Spec, thanks for doing this. We'll talk tomorrow.
All right, man. See you later.
There you go. Mark Spector joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show, as he does every day, just after 5 o'clock. Yeah, I do that. I think I get on the course. I ruin people's rounds, things like that. So it's something that happens. We will take a break here. When we come back, we will head down to San Jose. Sheng Peng will join us. We'll take a look at the Sharks. What happens now for the San Jose Sharks? You got your superstar locked up. There's a lot of good young talent coming up with that organization. What's it going to do? And maybe we'll see how it's looking with Darnell Nurse as well. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 air conditioning install company for lovers, because it's been a while since you kissed her tender lips or felt his warm embrace, because it's too hot for love. But you can rekindle that fire with AC from Legacy with no payments and no interest for 1 year. Your legacy of love will grow stronger, because with AC from Legacy, it's never too hot for love.
At Papa John's, we know it's not just a pizza. It's a family gathering. A happy birthday, a special celebration, or just a sigh of relief at the end of a busy day. For a limited time, get large one-topping pizzas for only $14.99 each on original, thin, or New York-style crust. Use promo code L1499 at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app. Get yours today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Say hello to Alberta's home for reeling and dealing. With Play Alberta, you can spin into the excitement of popular slots like Cash Eruption and Desert Fantasy. Experience Alberta-exclusive games and get in on the action of live dealer tables with all new elevated stakes. However you prefer to play, the fun is ready when you are. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
It's dollar drink summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax, all summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees at participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
We were at a party with some friends. I was having fun. He wasn't. He gave me a look, grabbed my arm, squeezed, then yanked me towards
the front door. Was under his watch 24/7. He didn't install a doorbell camera for safety. He did it to control me, to track me, to keep me at home, right where he
got inches from my face and started yelling, asking, "Why do you smile at other guys so much?" I rubbed the marks on my arm. I still felt his fingers digging
into my bank accounts. He changed my passwords, locked my cards, said I couldn't be trusted with my own money. It hurt.
More than you can imagine.
Tech abuse is real abuse. If you or someone you know is using technology to harm or control, change is possible. Learn how to end the violence at alberta.ca/endgbv. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Craving a dining experience that rises above the rest? Head to Summit Restaurant in the Silent Ice Center, just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Savor exceptional house-made pizza, delectable entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails in a stylish, modern atmosphere. Perfect for a casual meal or a special night out. Summit offers a refined experience where every bite and sip reflects our dedication to quality. Elevate your dining experience. Make Summit Restaurant your destination tonight.
Noodle, 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 noodle. Noodle, 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 noodle,
Troll low down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. Made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at www.cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight's Lotto 649, a gold ball jackpot, $38 million. You can also check out the sports specials today. Declan and I throwing down some picks. We got the Welcome to Atlanta. We've got the California Love parlay, and then Deck Selects as well. A little WNBA. Keep them busy here in the off season, of course. You can check that out, playalberta.ca/sports. Check out the Jason Gregor Show specials. And as a reminder, make sure to always use your game sense. And in case you missed it earlier today, Macklin Celebrini, one of the best young players in the NHL. And you know what? I'll take away that word young. One of the best players in the NHL, regardless, getting a big contract extension. 5 years, $18.8 million AAV to stay down in San Jose. Love this contract for him. A little bit more than Leo Carlson, who got the offer sheet from Philadelphia, 5 years, $18 million. We're going to discuss that right now with Shang Peng, who covers the San Jose Sharks for San Jose Hockey Now and NBC Sports in San Jose. This is Around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. It's dollar drink days at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax all summer long, only at McDonald's. Shane, good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. It's going good. How about you? How's the summer been so far?
Yeah, it's been pretty busy. So Sharks had the number 2 pick, and then obviously we're very busy off season for them so far, and now this.
So I want to ask you, obviously, we knew this contract extension was coming from Macklin Celebrini, the face of the franchise. I assume he'll get to see at some point in the future here as well. Did you expect this number to be 18.8, especially with what we saw from the Leo Carlson offer sheet?
Yeah, I think we've obviously been kind of seeing it with sort of the rise of the cap going up as much as it has and as much as it's expected to over the next couple of years here. And also, too, in the contracts of Kaprizov, which was at the time seemed really high, but now seems like, okay, you know, that was just them kind of the wild working ahead toward what the cap was going to. And obviously with the Carlson offer sheet. So in the end, at this point, I was not surprised with that final figure.
Yeah, it's good for him. I mean, I love it for them. The PA probably loves it with these contracts going up and obviously the salary cap going up as well. And I kind of like what the San Jose Sharks have done this offseason, obviously mixing in the vets with these young players that they have filling in their lineup, and more to come in the future. Darnell Nurse was also acquired by the organization. I'm sure you've talked about that quite a bit. He's spoken with the San Jose media. What do you think the fit, and where do you think Darnell Nurse slots into the lineup this upcoming season for San Jose?
I think that he and Jacob Trouba, they project to be the top defensemen for the Sharks. While the both of them, maybe they shouldn't be number 1, number 2 defensemen on a top team these days for the both of them. But for the Sharks, though, they represent, I think, a sizable upgrade on what they've had, a significant improvement on what they've been running the past few years. Last year, their top defenseman was Dmitry Orlov and Mario Ferraro. Before that, for a couple of years there, It was probably Mario Ferraro, Jake Wallman as their top defenseman, and I think that Nurse and Trouba are going to be upgrades on that, and it's what the Sharks need right now. I know that there are some cap questions in the future with their contract, 30-something guys with 4 years left. But the Sharks really, and it's also tied into Macklin with how good Macklin Celebrini was this past season. Like you mentioned, not just one of the best young players in the league, but one of the best players, period, in the league. They had to get him help right now. And there wasn't a ton of defensive help out there that was out there at sort of, maybe a more ideal term length would have been like 2 years or something like that. But that just wasn't available to the Sharks out there. And so to bring in Nurse and Trouba 4 years, maybe a year or two longer than you like for 30-somethings. But I think in the Sharks' estimation, at least it was in 7 or 8 years, which would have been a cost of, say, a Rasmus Anderson or a Darren Bradish, assuming that those guys even wanted to come to San Jose in the first place. And so in kind of a seller's market for defensemen this offseason, I think that Nurse and Trouba are pretty good upgrades, and they're going to be significant upgrades on what the Sharks had. And I think that Macklin holds up his end, and the Sharks have a lot of really talented young forwards. So if another one or two kind of step forward and become stars this season, along with a defense now that is, I wouldn't call it league worst anymore, which I think, frankly, it was the last couple of years. That you have a team that could get its way into the playoffs.
Yeah, and I mean, it kind of reminds me going way back into the day when the Oilers had their decade of darkness, and it's Peter Chiarelli, a name that people might not love up here, but he turned the Oilers fringe NHL team into an NHL team at least, and kind of kickstarted at least one playoff berth with his time here back in 2017. And that was one of the conversations, the discussions we had with the Sharks. And there's all these unrestricted free agents and players moving on. Like, to me, with Michael Kesselring as well, this is an NHL blue line. And you can, dissect it all you want and be critical of the contracts and the age, that sort of thing. But to me, like you say, like, this is a group you can win some hockey games with, combined with what you have up front. Shang Peng joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in. We're talking San Jose Sharks. Now, I want to ask you, because it's been brought up on a few different topics here on this show. When it comes to Will Smith, he's going to be making just under $1 million this year, but then he becomes an RFA. And, what might happen with him? We kind of, throw out the idea, could a team make an offer sheet just because of what we saw with Leo Carlsson? Do you think there's going to be a deal done sooner than later to make sure that doesn't happen? And then kind of a two-part question. What do you think his upside is point-wise?
Yeah, I think with Will, and we spoke with Mike Rear today, and Mike Rear said that he's hoping for a long-term extension for Will Smith. I think these days long-term means like 5 years, which is, what Macklin got, Leo Carlsson and Connor Bedard. So anyway, though, so he's hoping for a long-term extension with Will Smith and hoping that happens this summer. And I think that with Will Smith, it's a different case than Macklin. Macklin established himself as a elite NHL player last year. And so that's what he's getting paid for, to replicate that every single season. With Will, though, you have the question of, and his points potential is a big part of it. If you can sign him this summer, you can head off Will Smith having an explosion and hitting his potential, which I see to be in the 90, 100 point kind of range, right? I think he can do something like that. And this past season, he had, I think, 59 and 69 games, right? And so he's a guy that if you can pay him this, if you come to a good number this off season, you can head off that explosion and pay him a little bit less than he would make if you wait until next off season. And let's say Will Smith does have a 90, 100 point kind of season this coming year. Will Smith, I think a good sort of model for that is this is actually what Mitch Marner did in his first big contract. In Mitch Marner's second season, just like Will Smith, I think just maybe like 0.8 points per game, something like that, right? But Mitch did not sign his contract when he was extension eligible like Smith. Marner signed his first big contract after his third season. And in that season, that's when Marner exploded to 94 points. And I think he signed a 10.7 AAV contract, which was, a much larger percentage of the cap back then. And so that's kind of where the Sharks and Will Smith are. You do you kind of head off that potential and maybe overpay Will Smith right now for what he did last season because you're expecting him to, become that 9,100-point player?
Shane, this might be the biggest no-brainer, and eventually it's going to happen. I think Macklin Celebrini will wear the C. It was vacant this past season. He wore it for the Canadian team at the World Championship. Do you think it's kind of an inevitability that this year he gets the captaincy, or do you think they delay it another year?
No, I have every expectation, and from everything that I understand and have heard, that it's going to happen this coming season. Granted, the Sharks did acquire a number of veterans in the off season that you could consider for such a role, but I would be shocked if Macklin Celebrini isn't wearing the C for the Sharks on opening night next season.
Yeah, seems inevitable. And you bring up a good point. Trouba Darnolders was a part of the leadership group in Edmonton for a long time, but I like the idea of passing it on to him and then kind of going forward with it. So looking at this team that they've built, looking ahead to this upcoming season in the Pacific Division, the Oilers hoping to rebound. The Vegas Golden Knights, despite struggles in the regular season, went on a great run to the Stanley Cup final. The Anaheim Ducks look like a very good team. Where do you think the Sharks will end up in the standings here when it's all said and done at the end of the year?
Well, there's still some offseason to go, obviously, but right now I'm eyeing the Sharks with maybe that third spot in the Pacific. I think that Edmonton should get some bounce this year, be a little better this year than last year. I expect the Golden Knights to still be very strong. I think that Anaheim, I think they took a bit of a step back on their defense. Obviously, they lost a Trouba, and so I think that they might take a little bit of a step back there. And I think the Kings might be in there, but the Kings, I think they seem like a kind of team that hard to say if they're getting much better. They have a lot of veterans on their team, so they might kind of have one more playoff run in them, but I don't really see them as a strong contender in the Pacific. And so I think, I think if you're the Sharks, so you're perfectly happy if you get that third spot in the Pacific.
Oh, it's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be here in no time, the early start to the season, the extra games. Looking forward to it, Shane. Well, enjoy as much of the summer as you possibly can, and we'll talk to you once the season gets going.
Yeah, sounds good.
There you go. Shane Peng joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in. Of course, you can check him out, his work with San Jose Hockey Now. And looking forward to it. We've talked about it a lot, more so, on the frenzy. I'll talk about my theory of how a player or a team, take, for example, the Kansas City Chiefs back in the day. When they went and they first started, Patrick Mahomes was young. They went up against the Patriots in the playoffs, and everybody was rooting for him. Everybody wanted them to take down the Giants and New England Patriots. Fast forward a couple of years later, they win Super Bowls. All of a sudden, people despise them. You don't love Mahomes the way you used to. Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, Andy Reid. No, I think everyone still loves Andy Reid. But you know how it goes. I'm curious how it's going to work out for Macklin Celebrini because, we talk to a lot of you guys. We interact with each other. I don't think anybody disliked Macklin Celebrini. It's probably only going to take a couple more years of him having success, and there will be a shot of him yelling at a ref, and people will start to call him a whiner. I think it's inevitable, but I don't want to get there because I really like the kid and hope good things continue for he and the San Jose Sharks. And hey, it's good to have him in the division. I think a lot of Oilers fans wouldn't love that, but I like it. I think to have that rivalry, getting a chance to see him go up against Connor McDavid more times than other teams, I think that's great for the game, and they got a bright future. Will these big contracts they hand out hurt them? We'll have to see. Mike Greer probably has a plan, I would think. We'll take one more break here. When we come back, we will announce the winners of our contest. If you want to go to the Elks and Riders game on Saturday, text into 1-833-41-1440. Obviously, your name and email, but also your favorite member of the Eskimos/Elks of all time. We'll pick a couple winners, send some people to the game, and we'll do this for the rest of the week as well here on the Jason Gregor Show, which is brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Need an excuse to upgrade your ride? Well, we got a few to share. Go Auto has over 18,000 new and used vehicles ready to test drive right now. With more than 70 locations, your perfect match could be closer than you think. A family-friendly SUV for soccer practice, a fuel-sipping commuter, or a hardworking truck that's ready for anything. Trusted brands and a team that's actually happy to help. Explore thousands of vehicles today at GoAuto.ca.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
Does your bank do local? We do. When you bank with Vision Credit Union, you're banking with a rural Albertan cooperative that cares about the community where you live. There's no question. We actively support our rural communities at the local level through charitable donations, volunteerism, local team and event sponsorships, and by returning millions in profit shares to our members every year. Does your bank do that? We do local. Bank with Vision Credit Union. VisionCU.ca.
School's almost out, and road trip season is just around the corner. But if your brakes sound like they're grinding harder than a hockey fourth liner, it might be time to visit Napa Auto Parts. Napa has all the quality parts, tools, and know-how to help keep your vehicle running smoothly and road ready. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
The Bricks 55th Birthday Bash continues with big savings store-wide. Save on furniture, mattresses, appliances, and electronics. Plus, take 55 months to pay with 0% interest on furniture and mattresses. Or 36 months on appliances and electronics on approved credit. Find up to 30% off bedroom packages, up to 40% off select mattresses. And don't forget, you could be one of 275 winners with over $155,000 in prizes to be won. Hurry in. The Birthday Bash ends July 29 at the Brick, saving you more.
I'm Rick Showers from Noble RV with a question. Are you camp ready? Camp Ready is our 12-month RV maintenance plan. You might think from talking to you on the radio or my online videos that I'm a do-it-yourselfer, but you'll notice the real work is being done by my maintenance team, the same team that looks after your RV when you become Camp Ready.
Camp Ready is a custom scheduled maintenance plan for your used RV.
That's right, Bob. For one predictable monthly fee, your fall winterization is handled, spring startup is on your schedule, roof assessments twice a year, and if something goes wrong during the summer season, guess who goes to the front of the line? That's right, people like you who are Camp Ready.
You're expanding Camp Ready memberships now, right, Rick?
Bingo, Bob. We're accepting 100 new members. We have to keep it limited due to the capacity of our team, so we know we can serve you dependably. Ask about Camp Ready next time you see us.
And that's NobleRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by the Nation Golf Tournament. Friday, August 28th at Millwoods Golf Course. Golf, drinks, swag, food, and fun. Every swing supports Gregor's grads and helps graduates shine on graduation day. Sign up at nationexperiences.ca before it sells out.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$5:42. Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. You can also watch us on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch. If you're able, give us a thumbs up. We would appreciate that if you can do so. Tonight, the Lotto 649 Gold Ball Jackpot, 38 mil. Check it out. PlayAlberta.ca. And of course, some bets you can have. The Jason Gregor Show special. Just remember, use your game sense. We are going to get to Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. I'll give you guys a few more minutes if you want a chance to win some Elks tickets. All you got to do is text in your favorite player to 1-833-401-1440. Include your full name and email. We'll pick two winners after Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. I'm glad. Dak, did you get the warning from Tater? You got it? Okay, perfect. I was a little nervous because talking with Cam Tate today before he left, I know he had a really busy afternoon, so I wasn't exactly sure if he would get to it. But it's rolled in. We got it ready. Let's get to it. Cam Tate's 2-minute warning brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change, No OT charges, furnace repair and maintenance. Do it now with legsheating.ca. Of course, you listen to the show. You hear it every day. Let's get to it. Cam Tate's 2-minute warning.
So, what's his name, Gregor? Gone. Let's rip it up. In 1965, Johnny Rivers had a hit. Where have all the girls gone? We rewrote the lyrics with one missing in action Toronto Blue Jay. Where have all the home runs gone? Long time passing. Vladdy's got a bat, but the ball won't listen. Long time ago. He's built like a fridge, swings like a truck. Ball sees him coming and just says, nah, no thanks, bud. When will he ever learn? When will he ever learn? Where'd the long balls go, my friend? Long time passing. Straight to the warning track, again and again, long time ago. Right fielders basically got a recliner out there, camping under Vladdy flies like it's a county fair. When will he ever learn? When will he ever learn? Where have all the souvenirs gone? Long time passing. Kids in the stands still bringing their gloves. Long time ago. Bless their hearts. They show up with hope. Vladdy hits a single. They go home and mope. When will he ever learn? When will he ever learn? 2 more verses. Where has the launch angle gone? Long time passing. Vladdy's hitting worm burners now. Long time ago. Ball's got more top spin than a ping pong pro. Infield's diving like it's Cirque du Soleil, yo. When will he ever learn? When will he ever learn? Where'd the bat flip swagger go? Long time passing. Used to strut, now he just jogs to first. Long time ago. Toronto's praying to the baseball gods above. Please, just one more moonshot. Is that too much love? When will he ever learn? When will he ever learn? Don't tell Gregor. 2-minute warning. Sports. 1440.
Probably not this year, Tater. I don't think they're going to learn. They've hit 107 home runs. That's good for 27th best in the major leagues, which compared to the Milwaukee Brewers might not be the worst. They're the only team yet to reach the century mark. They have 98. On the flip side, the Nats at 159, Yankees 152. The Yankees last season led the majors in home runs with 274. Living up to the Bronx Bombers, no doubt. Dodgers, 244, second spot. And on that payroll. The Mariners had 238 last season. A big dumper was doing a lot, but this year, not as much. In the postseason, the Jays led the way with home runs, 28. They actually scored the most runs, I believe, at 99. Didn't matter in the end. Dodgers hit the second most amount as well. 105 runs, 99 RBIs. The Jays bats. So yeah, I mean, I feel like we saw those 18 games played and thought they can carry that over. They can do it. It just hasn't gone that way. And I think come next week at this time, it's going to look a whole lot different for the Bluebirds. We did the draw. So we got a couple winners here. Jurassic Park. You're going to be going to the game. We'll send you 2 tickets after the show. Favorite player? Easy. Fred Stamps. And then we also had Rod Connor. I like that answer. Give the offensive line a little bit of love. That came in from Shane. So that'll be 4 tickets given away. We'll do that again tomorrow. I kind of like just the simple ones, like simple answer. Give everybody a shot to win. Maybe Friday we'll make you earn it, and we'll do our trivia as we roll through here. Trying to send some people to the game. GoElks.com if you want to buy your tickets. Be a little quicker, a little safer, but we'll do some more tomorrow and Friday here on the Jason Gregor Show. And you might want to check out our Facebook page as well leading up to the game. Cody says Fajardo. Kubota Ross says Fajardo. So a few people leaning in on that one. Cody Fajardo is going to be making a lot of fans, not only due to his play, but off the field. He's very well-spoken. He's very likable. We've had a lot of people comment that when he's joined us on the show, and it's almost been weekly. Like, he's always willing to hop on the program and talk about the team. He really kind of won me over last year when he kind of fell on the sword for his receivers and took the blame for himself, as a quarterback typically does. Nonetheless, I find that admirable. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of Cody Fajardo. And I think bigger than that, you don't have that distraction. And it's never good to have two quarterbacks. If you have two quarterbacks, you have zero quarterbacks. You're always looking over your shoulder. The fan base is clamoring for someone else. The best thing for Trey Ford, I always thought, was to move on, give him a new chance, go somewhere else, learn from this experience. And I thought that, hand in hand was the best thing for the Edmonton Elks. You had to pick your guy, roll with him. Cody Fajardo is a guy who can read CFL defenses. He can make the throws. No, he's not going to bomb at 60 yards, but as we saw, still capable of throwing it 40, hitting the guy, on the run and still get that big play. It certainly worked out very good for the Elks. And it's not just that. There's a lot more to it. It's the defense really coming together here as well. The roster, the depth that they've built up. And when they get healthy, I think a return to the power runs in the interior will return. Manny says, Declan, excellent golf voice. Deep, calm, confident. Did you have a good golf voice? Was that maybe your liner?
Well, it had to have been the liner, right? I think that's the only option there. I like to read it with some poise.
I've thought that.
Some class.
Yeah, because I don't. I just grip it and rip it. I'm like the, I don't even know. Not the classy version. You're the classy one.
And also,
You're Sinatra.
I will also say though, like I think by liner number, what is it, 12, right? By that last one, 540, it's like you're having a little bit of fun with it. You're mixing things up a little bit.
Put your own twist on it.
Exactly. Just a little bit of personality too. It's like when they let, I don't know, what's a good example? Like when they let Dwight decorate his cubicle and he adds like one brown streamer. That's like me switching up the liners.
Yeah. But in more fancy fashion.
Exactly.
Didn't they let him like do Christmas once?
Yeah, there's a better example than the one I just gave, but The Office was the only show that came to mind for it.
Are you like me when you're just like, we're here at the first day of training camp for a lot of teams, pads aren't on, they have the shells on, whatever, where you're just like happy? Like, this is just what I want to see. I follow a lot of beat reporters. Tyler Drake's posting videos of Trey McBride beating Buda Baker in one-on-ones. I love this stuff. It's camp. Everyone's getting way too fired up about, the littlest things. Quentin Johnson caught a seam one-handed. But Deck, I'm telling you, I'm just happy now, man. Life's good. We're back. College football is going to be here in no time. I think we're 3.5 weeks away.
Yeah, week zero has 8 games this week. How about that? Or eight games that week. So doesn't that make it not feel like week zero a little bit?
I feel like
it's kind of week 1B.
Week zero shouldn't be a thing.
And if it is, like, I get if you want to do UNC and TCU in Ireland, like whatever.
Yeah.
But restrict it to that. Don't have 8 games there. Like, that seems a little too much.
To me, if we're doing it, it's just that makes it week 1. It's the first week of the season, but
one would think.
Whatever. Hey, am I going to say no to USC and San Jose State? Heck no.
It's going to be a good game.
I do wish it was a 8:00 start so I could watch it when the family goes to bed. But that's okay. That's okay. We're going to be thrilled with college football when it arrives. In the meantime, we're good.
We're going to have a couple college football Saturdays this year, me and you, and we're going to get after it.
Yeah. Well,
it's going to be a staycation for you. Saturday off from the family.
You hosting?
Yeah, of course.
Or am I hosting?
No, I'll host. It'll be a throwback to your bachelor days in my tiny 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
Me, you, 700 square feet, and a TV.
1 couch, 2 cushions.
And a hot tub.
3 guys. It'd be a good time. Maybe we'll have to go out somewhere, like the week 0 watch party at first round or something. That could be a good time.
They couldn't even get me out for that.
No?
No, I'm just kidding. I'd go.
You have said before, like, you're a case. What was the apple beer?
Oh, Bud Light Apple.
Like
fall?
Bud Light Apple, and a couch in college football. That's the dream.
Or wake up, you go for your run early in the morning. You come back, you have your coffee, watch game day, and then you have 12 Bud Apples over the next 12 hours.
1 an hour. Doable.
I might pass out just thinking about it. How excited I am.
That's going to be here quickly. Until then, though, lots of football. Of course, the CFL rolling on. We're going to preseason NFL. Elks this weekend, and then they play next weekend. I think it's a 1:00 start. Love those. And then the following weekend, I believe the Elks host the game at 1:00. So it's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun here, and that'll continue here on to Sports 1440. In case you missed anything today, of course, you can always go to jasongregor.com or Apple, Google, Spotify. We had a great show. Thank you to all of our guests, Justin Dunk from 3downnation and .com. We had Eric Williams from the NFL on Fox, Ben Stadig covering the Commanders, Struddy, the Roundtable, Spec, Shane Payne, Cam Tate. It was a whole lot of fun. So check out the podcast if you missed anything. Tomorrow on the show, Thirsty Thursday, Colin Livingston. We got Tyler Yaremchuk's going to come in. Might even join us for a couple segments in studio. We'll have to confirm that, but I think it's going to happen. We'll have Spec, and we'll do our NFL continuing as well. I don't know where we'll go. I'm going to let Brad Slater figure that one out. Shout out to Brad for hooking up some guests today as well. For the boys here, thank you guys for joining us on the show today. Like I said, if you missed it, go check it out. Podcast, YouTube, Sports 1440 AM if you'd like. We would like that. Subscribe as well. Hit the thumbs up, like and subscribe, all that sort of thing. Up next, we got Fox Sports Radio. But right now, one final Sports 1440 update with Declan Kruger, brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in Edmonton and area. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, call or text Sean directly, 780-265-0165. Have a good night.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Rays lead the Rangers 3-0 in the bottom of the fifth. Guardians and Reds tied 0-0, as are the Braves and Mets in game 2 of their doubleheader, and the Royals and the Twins. Yankees up on the White Sox 4-0 in the bottom of the first. The Cubs and Cardinals, another game tied 0-0. Later on, we will see the Astros and Angels, Red Sox and A's, and the Mariners and Dodgers in the late game. Finals today saw the Marlins over the Phillies 8-6, Diamondbacks over the Pirates 3-0, Blue Jays over the Nats 5-2 for their 50th win of the season. Mets over the Braves 3-2 in game 1 of their doubleheader. Giants crushing the Brewers 16-3. Padres over the Rockies 3-1, and the Orioles 10-9 over the Tigers in extras. Ex-Blue Jays All-Star Alex Manoah has been released by the Los Angeles Angels. And if you missed it earlier today, the breaking news in the NHL world, Macklin Celebrini and the San Jose Sharks agreeing to a 5-year, $94 million extension with a record $18.8 million AAV. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.